And welcome to the Warhammer Podcast, episode 226. I'm your host, Brad. This is my co-host, Nick from Bolters and Banter.
Hi, I'm glad to be here.
And my other co-host, Jordan from Slam Sector.
Hello, I'm indifferent to being here.
Where the fuck is Eric? What did you people do with him?
Probably teleported away with the rest of his faction.
They can do that on turn 1 now correctly. It's great. We're back to 10th.
Bro, I wish we were back at 10th with the state of some of this change, man.
So, on this week's episode, Bricky is a turd and missed our recording so that he could go hang out with VTubers. So while he's off chasing tail, we're here doing work. Eric is having a very bad week. Please do me a favor real quick. He won't have time to listen to this and then tell me not to put it in here. So give Eric some love in the comments, please. It'd be a big help. But we've got two lovely gentlemen from two amazing channels here to help us out. So thank you both for at the very last second showing up to this. But we are going to discuss the data slate that isn't a data slate.
Yeah, I was looking forward to opening up a PDF with all of my summaries and red text. And I look, there's not one PDF. There's what, 28?
It's like 32 or something. Yeah, it's great. We'll talk about it, but let's get into this.
Sounds good.
Hey, before we get into the main topic, do you want to win a box of Armageddon or one of 10 Space Marine 2 keys? Well, stay tuned and we'll tell you how you can do that later. Or you could do it the easy way. Just go sign up on patreon.com/SullySingleton. Okay, bye. All right, before we start off, before Happy Bread goes into a hole to die, I do want to talk a bit about some good stuff. 11th edition has had just a straight up astounding start. It's shocking how balanced everything was in 11th. Look, every edition, the start is always a hilarious dumpster fire. That's okay. It's part of the fun of it. But 11th has been shockingly well done. There has not been huge, hilariously wrong balance changes. Our worst win rate factions are still under 60%. Dispositions have been mostly balanced. We'll talk about it. It's been a pretty good start, and I want to give GW props there. And then they said like, hey, we'll do an emergency balance patch 1 month in, and then we can do one every month if we need up till fall. In this first one, they have told us that they will be doing one in a month, and then after that, they're just going to wait till the fall data slate like usual, and we will do quarterly updates from there.
I do heavily appreciate Games Workshop for that. I'm so used to the quarterly data slates that I see they're committing, hey, every month we are looking at, every faction, all the detachments. It seems like they're very much saying, okay, we're going to have monthly things, but there's a little bit of restraint as well, where it's not like we're going to completely change the game every quarter.
It's a fine way to handle the beginning of the edition where it's like, hey, there's probably going to be extra stuff wrong. We will break our 3-month cycle for this, but other than that, we will go back to what you expect, check in on everything every 3 months, and if something's wrong, see you in 12 weeks.
Yeah, they've also introduced a bunch of extra levers this edition. Whether or not they use those correctly is a different story, but they have a lot more balanced tools, which I think could be good.
And even from a casual gamer's perspective, it's not so dense that you can't just pick up a game, generally know what you're doing in 11th. The fact that all the core rules are numbered based on section, terrain is section 13, the fight phase is section 8. All the games I've had have been fast and pretty damn fun, with only one exception out of 8 games.
Yeah, so again, I want to give GW a lot of props before we start just slamming them, because this update was of a quality level. Let's get into some of my issues here. There's a lot of changes per faction. They are not really a problem overall, but there is one change that happened to essentially every faction that I am not a fan of. And we'll talk about why I think it happened this way and why I wish it hadn't, but hopefully it gets fixed in the future. So from the article that launched with this rules update, there is a quote. This is about forced dispositions. It is, several Purge the Foe detachments have had their DP increased, and several detachments have been reassigned to other dispositions. This means that if you really do want a Purge the Foe army, you will generally need to commit to that theme as your main force. I don't like this logic. This is one of the things I warned about when they first showed that the disposition system would be a thing. It reminded me a lot of in 9th edition when you would get special secondaries that you could use, and it turned into a whole thing where it's like, if you can't use this secondary, don't play the game because it's the best one. It's not the same. I do think detachments and force dispositions have been generally fantastic, but this is exactly how I didn't want this handled. The problem is Purge the Foe, currently. I mean, it might be something else later, but currently the problem is Purge the Foe. The solution was not to just make it more rare. The solution was to rebalance it so that it's not an issue. They did try to do this partially, only with updating the layouts in the companion for tournaments, right? Where you actually go to get your layout for the game. They did that for Purge the Foe, which they said was slightly overperforming, and Disruption, which was slightly underperforming.
Who could have seen that coming?
Yeah. Who could have seen Disruption being an issue? Literally upon first read. But for those who do not have much experience with 11th edition, Purge the Foe is essentially the kill your opponent's stuff more than they kill your stuff. Good job, you get points. It's interesting that in the article, they flat out pat themselves on the back, and they kind of deserve it a little bit, of so far, the event win rates between dispositions are remarkably balanced, though we have seen a slight leaning towards Purge the Foe. But then when you get to the changes they did, they obliterated the existence of Purge the Foe. 55 detachments have changed what their disposition is between the different armies. There's only 268 of them total. That's a hell of a lot. So Purge the Foe largely got gutted from existence instead of rebalancing it. Now, there's two things here. One, Purge the Foe being slightly better than the others did not warrant that. And two, why would you handle it like this instead of just rebalancing it if it had some matchups that needed fixing?
I agree with Jordan in this respect, where yes, we have a lot of levers. They pulled the wrong one. The idea wasn't, as you said, hey, let's make it more rare. It's change it itself. This is just kicking the can down the road. It's not changing the internal balance between the detachments to make Purge not less appealing, just less overperforming.
Yeah, Eric and I spoke earlier today, and he and I had the exact same initial read on this when I explained to him what had happened to Purge the Foe, because he immediately had the idea I had talked about with the patrons this morning of they specifically mention, I will reread the sentence for you. So far, the event win rates between dispositions is remarkably balanced. And by the way, going off of all the data we have from everyone who collects competitive results, that is correct. It is also correct that Purge the Foe is like a slightly higher win rate than the other four, and Disruption is a little bit worse than everything else. But they very specifically say event win rates. And GW has started collecting the data from the app now where you can play your games in there. And your average person using the official GW app, which is hot fucking trash. We'll have an episode about that soon. But the average person using that app is likely a casual. And Eric and I both had the thought of they're happy with how it is at events at a high level of play where both players are good at the game. It is likely the case that Purge the Foe, when it's little Steve and Susie playing, where you have the vast majority of Warhammer players who basically don't even understand how to do an action properly, which is where most people who play Warhammer probably live, Purge the Foe probably has an insane win rate. That's my guess, is that they're finding that it's not actually been a problem with people who know how to play the game and what they balance around, and they started getting the win rates from people who actually play their game, and they said, oh god, this is something that we have experience with from Magic the Gathering, talking to R&D people from Wizards. Back in the day, there would be questions of, why did blank get banned? It didn't seem like it was that much of an issue, or why is blank considered not an issue? When you have the data of a lot of smaller stuff that is considered not important to people trying to chase like GPs in Magic or GTs in Warhammer here, you start realizing that at a casual play level, balance has to be handled differently. It is very likely that Purge the Foe got overly murdered because it's just performing way too good at a low level, and at a high level it's fine, but it needs to be changed because of low level play.
I was looking at some stuff from, I don't remember specifically which tournament recently, but basically Purge the Foe was by far the most taken disposition.
By far.
Not even close.
Double second place.
By the time you got to top tables though, most of the top tables were taken hold.
Yep, green tide. Yes, baby.
And a part of that is your more casual player who's never going to take down a GT goes, why would I want to do the boring thing when I can take the disposition that is kill my opponent's stuff? Why do I want to go do actions or go zoom around the table? I want to kill my opponent's stuff. That's why I bought Warhammer models.
Isn't everyone's like first two Warhammer games just killing the opponent, and then you learn about like missions and objectives later?
Yeah, I mean, like, Only War is the starter mission for, at least it was in like 9th and 10th. I don't know what it is now.
No, and that's a part of that is a symptom of the 11th design of like, yeah, there's no difference between matched play and open play. Now, every game you play is going to be the same as everyone else. So the games you play at your local store are going to basically be the same as you play at the GT.
Which makes a lot of sense for figuring this out. This is them realizing that the average person who was playing narrative or open play or I don't fucking know the rules was just playing at a lower level than they expected, or a little more unga bunga than they really thought that their player base was. This is like something we get into when we talk about stuff when we're like, look, points updates really don't matter to you as our average listener. You are playing casually. If your list is up or down by 45 points while a competitive player is screaming, crying, pissing himself, you shouldn't care, because that 45 points is not the difference between if you won or lost the game. At the end of the day, in a casual game, they're swingier than that. You do not have like a fine-tuned list where your secondaries are pre-thought out for every possibility of whatever order the deck is in. You don't think to that level when you're putting a list together. You don't have to worry about little things like that. It's the same thing here where it's like, it was balanced around people like that because that's what was visible. But now that we're in, everybody is more visible and they're seeing the general player base, they may be readjusting how things have been balanced. But we've dragged on that part long enough. Here's the other kicker of why the hell didn't they just rebalance these? I have a possible solution to this one for people who don't remember this being a thing. There was a little thing at the beginning of 10th edition, if you don't remember. These were called index data cards. Remember when you could waste $35 to get your index data cards?
Unfortunately.
I don't like this path you're on, Brad. Those are the dark times.
No. This is very important because do you remember why we all laugh at that fact? It's because about a week into them being sold, they had pasted out the like, by the way, here's everything wrong with the physical cards we made. And it had like a 10-mile errata. Every card had mistakes. Okay, not everyone, but like 40% of cards in any given index had mistakes on them.
I have a friend who plays Genestealer Cults. I'm aware.
I mean, that's like everything they put to print, though.
Yeah, but this caused an issue on that example because what happened is they errated it too quick. And then what happened was a bunch of large stores got stuck with product that Games Workshop forced them to take and now could not move to their player base who was not dumb enough to buy it. So a bunch of stores started threatening lawsuits until GW went and had to actually retake a bunch of that stock.
I didn't know that part of the history.
I was vaguely aware of this having happened. It turned out that for the rest of 10th edition, they went back to the after something is released, they wait at least 30 days to post any form of there could be a mistake in this document. Like there's no errata for anything for at least a month or whatever. I would not be shocked if those stupid cards that are in the Armageddon box that you can buy right now, go buy now. Buy physical product right now. I would not be shocked if there is a rule of do not fucking edit those cards unless your life is in danger. We will not be getting anything that could rebalance the force dispositions and make those wrong.
Oh, do you think that's why the terrain layouts aren't in the deck and the terrain layouts are instead only native to the app? So that's the first thing they touch.
Because the terrain layouts are freely available online, digital only rules, so they're easy to update. No one loses money.
Oh, dude, again, I feel like you're telling me that actors don't die in their movies and that they're actually pretending. Like, oh my God.
I do not know this for a fact. This is all allegedly, but this makes a lot of sense with exactly how companies work.
My tinfoil hat is firmly on.
Yeah, it's amazing how you can get so far into the headspace of a soul-sucking manager.
You have no idea. Today of all days. But anyway, I would not be shocked if next month's data slate or the actual data slate this fall finally is when they finally get to pull the gloves off and stop pretending that those cards are of value and we will get actual balance updates finally.
That'd be nice.
I suspect we're still in the part of the edition where the PR team and the bean counters are in charge before the balance team has fully been unbound. There is another part of this, although the heavy-handed part does not match it, which is a lot of competitive players pretend that last week doesn't exist, only this week exists, and how fucking dare you not immediately fix every problem they have. This edition is 4 weeks old. There is basically no data competitively. Every single week of the last 3 weeks of real tournament results finally coming in, we have watched Purge the Foe sink considerably in how much of a lead it had over the other ones, and like everything has been adjusting over people just finally getting some reps in and playing some games. The more competitively minded are finally getting to over a dozen, over 2 dozen games and starting to actually get it to the point where they're like, all right, I know what's going on in this edition.
Yeah, the same thing happened in 10th and in 9th edition. Early 10th, everyone was worried about vehicle meta because it's like, oh my God, everything's higher toughness. And then in like 2 months, everyone figured it out.
Well, other than Knights.
That was like something that I was saying. Purge is probably at the beginning going to score a lot more just because it's the easiest, but once like experienced players start getting reps with the other dispositions, then they're going to start scoring more. And now basically everybody at top tables is just scoring 45 on primary. It's just how much can you deny your opponent?
And this gets into another Magic analogy. Purge the Foe being like red deck. If there is a new like reset of the meta in standard or whatever, everyone is suddenly back on an aggro red deck. It happens all the time throughout history, like clockwork every September. And the reason is simple, because it's the most straightforward way to win a game if you don't know the meta yet. Will it be the best after a month when everyone knows what's going on? No. But on week 1, yes, because it's a safe 8 out of 10, baby.
Yep, that's part of the success I've had this edition so far, is because I've just been playing Take and Hold Warhorde. It works against Purge the Foe when you gotta kill units and your unit is 20 guys, you know? They'll figure it out at some point.
Yeah, this is like my main gripe of this change is how this was handled. This matters more from a design standpoint for the edition. How you handle forced dispositions is everything in 11th.
There's some other like general core rule stuff before we get into factions.
Oh, are we not done shitting on GW then? All right, we can get into this. What core rules updates, I ask you, as someone who doesn't have the 40K app installed?
Okay, lots of them are actually just carried over from the Tacoma Open FAQ. Every event runner has put these in place. Now GW is saying, yes, do this.
Well, the Tacoma Open FAQ was literally GW.
Yeah, like, you know, tournament organizers get those fancy calls and discords that like no one else gets, and then they're leaked to the internet the day after.
That's not a leak thing, by the way. I was recently told this by some TOs. They basically get told to spread that information. It's like literally them going, please inform as many people as possible of this.
We're kind of told, like, don't put it on like a podcast or anything, but like, tell your people. But anyway, things with Tacoma Open FAQ. 1, no double normal move, so you can't like do reactive move twice. Pretty easy. No reviving characters from healing, so fuck you Necron players, stop doing that. No enhancements and upgrades in the same unit. You can finally take 3 DP detachments in a 1k list. They said they wanted to do this a month ago. It's finally official. Yippee. I can play Warhorde and Angelic Inheritors at 1k.
You always could, because it's not like there was a 1k tournament to stop you.
Exactly.
They said it worked, but now it is in the rules.
And then there's like, you know, the ones that actually matter. Max CP gain. Hey, it's 1 CP per battle round still.
Which I'm iffy on this one. I have the frustration of captain abilities, we'll call them.
Minus 1 CP, yeah.
If you could, instead of just go get your captain equivalent for your army and hope it's not a shit data sheet, or it can only be attached to garbage units, whatever. It would be nice if there was different angles you could try taking your CP generation. Because essentially a captain is CP generation that is not capped by this way, and it has its own unique cap, right? Like if you think of it like that, it's plus 1 CP, but
only for its unit, yeah.
Yeah. So that's one that's like, I kind of wanted us to open that up more, to have other angles. It's something that I would have liked to see played with, especially because like they're controlling stratagems more. So it would be kind of interesting to see if you don't cap it, what happens, and then we just fix it next month if it becomes a giant problem in 2 weeks. I just want to see what happens.
Yeah, and aren't like the CP generators usually epic heroes, or like an ability you only use once? Like your Grots can only give you 1?
Yeah, Grots can only give you 1 is a really common one, yeah.
There's ones that you don't think about all the time though, where it's like data tethers in AdMech, where it's 5 up, you regain your CP after spending it.
Oh, right. AdMech, you bastards.
Masters of Executions in World Eaters, you just keep killing characters.
I mean, the Master of Execution one is exactly what I would want, though. That's the funny. That's something that's different. I like this. It's interesting. It's fine. It's the safe option. I kind of wanted to see what would happen just for a while.
It'd be nice to be in that Wild West for like maybe a month, but it standardizes things.
I think the largest change that affects basically every single army is, to quote from the article, stackable debuffs have been removed in a bunch of places. Generally, you'll find you're limited to -1 ballistic skill rather than -1 ballistic skill and -1 to hit rolls. For example, some units affected by this have had their points amended downwards in line with this change. However, some intentional exceptions have remained, such as Demon Primarch Fulgrim. This one is strange. It gets on a point design-wise that I want to talk about. I don't have an issue with this. If anything, it's just kind of funny that instead of just making it where it's like 9th edition Dense, which was literally just -1 to hit for cover, they changed it to -1 ballistic skill. I assumed on purpose to make the game less killy so that now we had -1 to hit and -1 ballistic skill as a common thing. And instead it's like, nope, everything's going to say -1 ballistic skill this edition. Anything that said -1 to hit now says -1 ballistic skill, although most of it just says stealth now, but whatever. That change is large for balance, but but it's an interesting example of what everyone always claims to care about and doesn't. You always hear people say, the game is too killy. It's too easy to have everything get wiped off the board. This is the prime example of nothing feels worse to a player than when their unit doesn't do the thing they expect it to do. So they want the game less killy until their unit is less killy, and then they fucking hate it. Space Marines hitting on 5s, this is Sergeant Badass. He is the greatest shot of his generation. He can't hit on fucking 5s. So we're back to, okay, in a worst case scenario, he'll hit on 4s. I'm sorry. Sergeant Badass, I apologize. It's very interesting to see stuff like this. It's the difference between what a player says and what a player wants.
Well, I think the major exception to this, I find that the changes that they did to this is if like the unit gives itself like things to hit me are -1 to hit, but there's other units that like dole out -1 to hit debuffs, like the custom boosted Blasta on the War Track, for instance, where they're like, hey, you in particular, you have -1 to hit things now. That's where your opponent can still choose what they want to hit with it instead of just saying, my guys are invulnerable. It's more like your particular unit is worse. It's a little bit different.
Yeah, and I actually like that that's how it seems to have been done, partly because, again, exceptions like Fulgrim, so that now he feels more special, and it's not literally everybody has a way to stack these. But in the other way, it's like, okay, so we can stack debuffs. Like, the article mentioned it like that, but that's not what they were really getting rid of. They were getting rid of the, my Eldar can only be hit on 6s, get fucked.
Oh, don't remind me, Brad.
I like the way they handled it in general. It is a sweeping, huge change. This is the biggest change probably from a gameplay perspective that affected everybody.
I think the thing that I wish the most is that there was just a more elegant solution for it, because now you have things like Inner Circle Companions, stuff like that, that is, this unit has stealth, and also, second bullet, they are -1 to hit in melee.
I feel like it used to just be -1 to hit universal, and now it's the awkward one of, we made, instead of, again, for some reason, we did ballistic skill instead of hit roll for cover. When dense terrain in 9th was hit roll, we remade dense terrain from 9th and 11th, but we changed what it was so that now it's a problem. So you can't do the -1 to hit, which would auto cap it for you, but you still want that to affect melee in this case, but you can't make the benefit of cover just has -1 to hit in melee because you just nerfed all melee factions, and the whole point of this was to nerf the ranged part. It's hard to make it clean when you want to use stealth, because you want to. Like, you've keyworded this. It's the clear thing of this does most of what I want, but then you have to add the second bullet point thing in for like, also in melee, it does the -1 to hit, which then we get into, why didn't we just make it be -1 weapon skill in melee? And we just get rid of -1 to hit almost everywhere except for when it's a big special thing.
Yeah, because then, I mean, the -1 weapon skill, all your war boss buffs or whatever would still cancel it out. The dice roll will still end up doing the same thing.
Do you think this is a case of maybe there are now too many levers for balance?
No.
No.
The more likely thing here is this is the cascading issue that happens when you do game design of, well, shit, now it's out there. There's this like, this issue made it in. There isn't a clean solution at this point that is not massive rewrites. Like, the real answer was probably just change it so instead of -1 ballistic skill, it was -1 to hit rolls for ranged.
Yeah.
Like, that was probably the cleanest solution.
I think then you can like switch like the war track ability and stuff to then that is the ballistic skill debuff.
Yeah, because
Yes.
then that's the rarer one and the more valuable one.
Which is how it was.
Yeah. Yeah. True.
But I think then they would have had to admit they had a lot of data sheets they wanted to be buffed by this that then would need the change, like Fulgrim, etc. I get how you end up here. I can see the design meetings, the bashing your head into the wall, trying to figure out which way to flip this coin, right? There was different solutions. None of them are super clean. I don't hate this one. It's definitely the biggest change, though. You will notice this in most armies that you just randomly have 2k points and something has been changed from this.
Well, we'll probably see how some of these rules changes end up being implemented in future codexes. The first of which is going to be Orks, and there's going to be a lot of data sheets that have to keep these kinds of things in mind. Speaking of Orks, speaking of Orks, I want to get into them.
All right. Before we're done shitting on GW, though, Orks is the first faction we're covering. So which page of the data slate are they on, guys?
I don't know. Let me do an archaeological dig really quick.
Hold on, let me go to Harvard Law School real quick. All right, they said they got no fuck damn idea.
Yeah, so I'm a little frustrated. Data slates were easy because you could just go into the data slate and see each faction, how they changed and what rules are updated. Yet now, if you want to read this and you're not just watching this episode and just hoping that what we're saying is right, or you didn't read what the Goon Squad wrote this morning, then you're shitting shit out of luck, kid. Open 32 PDFs, scroll 40 pages down, and find what changed. It's so frustrating.
The faction packs are already long enough, but now you have to compare, okay, here's my detachment rules, here's my data sheets, here's my changes. But now I have to check that with the core rules changes. By the way, core rules changes are implemented faction by faction. They don't have a generic, oh yeah, this ability, Deep Strike, changed 9 to 8. That's not just a thing in the data slate where just change every 9 to an 8. No, they have to go in and manually hunt and peck every rule that says 9 and change into 8. And sometimes that causes problems.
Like when they miss them.
Or when they accidentally change 6 inches to be 6 feet.
The Venom Throat, 6 feet of stealth.
If you play it like that, you deserve to be beaten by your opponent. In Minecraft in real life.
So I'll say it's even worse than that in that there is a PDF that is universal rules updates.
And it does not include the core rules updates.
Correct.
The core rules updates are only in the fucking app.
Yeah, that's right. There's some rule changes, especially for Astra Militarum when we get to them, that were only in the app. Because for Guard, they didn't highlight any of the changes because they technically didn't have a faction pack this edition. Oh, fuck off, dude.
Why didn't they have a faction pack?
They did! That's the thing!
Oh.
They had one that came out with the Armageddon stuff.
Huh.
They didn't have one up till like the last seconds of 10th, so it probably wasn't ready for 11th.
Oh.
But so here's another frustration. So you open up your Orc faction pack, and we joke about scroll 40 pages down for the changes. Except for Wazdaka. Do you want to know where his changes are? It's on the fucking first page, and it's not red, which it's Wazdaka, so that's extra fucked up. But like in general, you go to CSM's changes, they change Cabal of Chaos detachment ability and add Demon Prince with wings. They make that part red to show you that that part of the ability has changed and the rest of what is printed here is the same. But then it's like the Nightmare Hunt detachment changed too, and it just doesn't have any red. It's just, this is the new one, but also this is a Defiler data sheet. They updated the Defiler. It's not marked red. It just says change to fucked.
I also personally dislike Games Workshop's habit of not showing the previous version and only showing the new version, so you can't do a comparison to learn. You have to go to like Wahapedia or something.
If you have your one faction memorized, it's not the worst for those people, but A, for the casual crowd, it's a nightmare because they don't know what's changed. And B, for people like us, where I've got to go through 28 detachments and you can kiss my ass if you think I have Guard memorized. And now I have to go cross-reference Wahapedia to figure out what's changed because I don't fucking have Sergeant Long Johnson in my fucking eidetic memory.
Just horrible, dude. That's what hit me with the force disposition changes is I see like for example, a tactical brigade was recon now, and I'm like, it wasn't recon before? What the fuck was it? It was disruption. I'm like, I didn't know it was disruption because I didn't play it. It's like, well, I would love to see that from 2 thing, because if they ever want to go back, it's like, oh yeah, this is what it was before.
Yeah, and it's just like a weird dispersion of information. I feel like dispositions should be on the detachment that they have released in the faction packs don't have the dispositions on them. You have to go to the Munitorum field manual to find those.
That leads into other issues. So like, all right, we're getting all of the negatives out of the way. When we get into the actual factions, guys, we won't be shitting on GW this hard, but there's a lot of problems.
Yeah.
Not all of them are bad.
The presentation of this update, you have to understand how god-awful it is. This is the worst thing I've seen. 10th edition did not have these problems. Why did we lose all of our brains?
This feels like a monkey's paw. Like, we're starting to get regular updates, but God, I hate reading them.
I know that the balanced data slate was like 20 pages long near the end of 10th edition, but at least it had all the information in one place. So when you rolled up to like a tournament or whatever, you have your little tablet or phone or whatever. One tab is the MFM, one tab is the data slate, one tab is your army, and that's it. That's all you need.
Yeah. So like on the one hand, to counter Jordan's gripe with how they are keeping the dispositions in the MFM, I'm okay with that because it means it is the easiest for them to update should they need to. And it means they don't have to deal with the whole like, we can't change it for X amount of time after we launch a codex because then you'll realize that you bought a fucking brick, you dipshit.
So it's the same thing of like keeping the terrain layouts in the app, keeping the force disposing points, yeah.
Yeah, and keeping your points and your all that stuff in the go to the app to find it. So that now it's, you wasted money on this codex, but at least now you won't realize how much you wasted.
Do you think they're not going to put points in the Orks codex? They're finally going to learn that they're just going to put like a QR code for the app in the back?
They're going to put points.
They're definitely going to have the starter points for the people who just despise opening up the app, which honestly I'm becoming because the app is just the worst. But the points there will clearly say, like it did in the 10th Codex, where it was like, these are not the final points. Follow this QR code to see the current points or whatever. It'll do that again, and the QR code will lead right to the MFM page.
So one of my perhaps least favorite things that they've done with the MFM is they have enhancements that let characters lead different units are now in the MFM, and they've taken it out of the rules text for those enhancements.
First of all, hey guys, did this data slate have point updates?
Unit Form Field Manual did.
Yeah.
Oh, where's that on the downloads page?
Oh God!
Well, you don't
right.
download
it's like a
it
living
anymore,
website.
Technically.
Yeah.
So I don't know why it's on the downloads page.
We had a funny joke today in the patron Discord. 18 patrons showed up on Data Slate Day and said, hey guys, there's not an MFM update in the new downloads. Did they not do points?
Oh no.
18 times.
Oh no.
Oh no.
It's not that they're stupid. I agree with them. Why the fuck is there nothing pointing you to the fact that the MFM is updated? If you scroll down, so first of all, this is a fun one to do a behind the scenes. When they first launched 11th, we knew the MFM site existed. People had posted the link to it. Eric and I both went on to the Warhammer community download page and we went, well, there's everything, but the MFM's a website now, so I guess it's not here, but they probably should have had a PDF version, but it's not here. But okay, how the fuck do I get there? And we searched the entire Warhammer community site for a fucking hour and could not find the link. The link is on the downloads page. Many of you don't know this fact because it looks like those stupid fucking advertisement blocks that are on every page of every Warhammer community article, that black box that'll say some useless shit in it that your brain censored out 2 editions ago. Yeah, that shit's the MFM link.
That's what happens when you use a Squarespace template.
Wouldn't you think you would put that in the core rules and key downloads folder?
Yeah, so that you would click it and it would take you to the website at least.
Or maybe like I know it's probably like a file repository. Can you not make the file like hey, click this, and then there you, and then you go.
And when you get to the MFM, I don't remember if Eric and I said this on a podcast, but we were talking about it in the basement when we were setting up for one of our first games. And Eric generally doesn't like the MFM webpage. I do. Differences aside, it's the only thing I think the MFM webpage needs desperately for an update for a free win for you Games Workshop. Just make a print to PDF button or like an open in Excel button. I don't care what you call it, but like literally just so that you can have a nice, clean, easier, more dense version like it used to be. Or every time it updates, just throw the new PDF copy into the downloads folder for people who would rather have the PDF. The website is strictly a positive if the PDF still exists. I think the website's great. Just make it so that I can still print it to PDF if I need to.
Yeah, the old layout was just so much easier to parse. Maybe it's just because like you have the units of like different sizes, right? And so it will push the other rows. So now all of your rows are different sizes. And I don't know, it feels like a mistake to me. None of it feels right.
Does it bother you like it bothers us that it goes left to right?
Yes. Oh my God. Yes.
Like
instead of
alphabetically.
Yeah.
It doesn't match any other Games Workshop page. They are all column 1, then column 2, then column 3, then column 4.
Yeah.
That's how this, in PDF form, that's how this was laid out.
Mm-hmm.
Of like, you read down the left column, then you move to the right column and read that one, and that gives you your alphabetical order. In this case, it's, if I go, what am I on? Chaos Knights here. It goes Chaos, Acastus Knight, Asterius, or whatever is the first one. And then it's got, you go down for first unit cost, then second plus unit cost. But now stop, don't go down anymore. Now go up and go to the right again.
Yeah.
And it's so weird feeling. It's a wrong layout.
Yeah, I think also it'd make it harder for I mean, if you want to like format this so people can access it via mobile where they pull it up on their telephone, they can like scroll down. Scrolling down is what you do. And if you're like, you know, trying to get to the gamers who check their rules on their phone with your app and they want to check the points in your MFM, you would think a layout where you scroll down to find information in sequence would be useful.
I've never actually looked at this on mobile before.
I haven't either.
This is about to be a fun journey.
Here's the problem. I'm slowly becoming a boomer because I guess Gen Z doesn't use computers anymore. And like, if I'm doing anything of note, I'm doing it on my PC and not on my fucking phone.
Yeah, you will see that the space between like Bully Boys and 2DP, if this is on a mobile screen, that space would be a lot shorter and it'll be one column. So you just scroll down to find your information. It's made not for desktop website, it seems.
Yeah. On mobile, it is all just a single column. So that is relatively easy to look at, but I definitely prefer to look at it on desktop.
Jordan, on your previous point of like leader detachment stuff, you know how like in tactical tactical brigade, war bosses can lead commandos. That's in the tactical brigade thing, not in the war boss thing.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you think it'd be easier to put like war boss, leader, boys, breaker boys, knobs, and then tactical brigade commandos?
I mean, I think it would just be easier to keep it in the rules text for the enhancement.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense.
It's literally tied to an enhancement.
That's where it was. It was
Yeah.
like it was in
Oh,
the
that's
enhancement
right.
text, and they took it out and they just put it in the MFM.
Yeah, which is, it's really weird. I get the idea is because then you could start adding it for free to stuff as like, hey, we added a knob, right? I get it from that angle, but it's fucking weird that your enhancement doesn't say what it does. There is function in your points list.
Yeah.
Like Abhuman Detail on Grizzled Company is the same thing of like Abhuman Detail gives you leader, Olgrin Squad, and Bulgrin Squad. But like if you open up the enhancement, it doesn't fucking say it does that.
Yeah, same with Butcher Lord with Cult of Blood. It's like, yeah, leader, Goremongers, Jackals. Doesn't say that.
Yeah. So, for example, I pulled up on the app right now, Catechism of Divine Penitence, which is for sisters. It says, Canoness, Palatine, Ministorum, Priest model only. The bearer gains the penitent keyword. What it doesn't say is that also lets them lead Repentia squads. That's on the MFM. You have to go somewhere else to see that, not while you're building a list where you should be able to see that.
We can keep pulling up examples, but this shit's everywhere.
Yeah.
It's frustrating because like we're supposed to be talking about rules updates and how they affect everything. They're not the problem with this update for most cases. Most of our problems are who fucking designed this shit.
Graphic design is my passion. Bottom text.
Like, we'll get there eventually. For the most part, I think the rules updates were fine. But yeah, like you were saying, the way it's all presented is not fine.
I've been in like a blind rage the entire day trying to understand what the updates are so that I could make this episode to help you understand what they are. This is not how this is supposed to be.
How am I supposed to read this shit while I'm in meetings at work?
Right? I would never do that, but right? So anyway, I think we're done bashing GW for the most part. Now we can get into the actual changes to each of the factions. We can start with Orks. I think we've covered most of the basic stuff. Let's get into how the actual factions updated.
So Orks, it's pretty easy. They had like a 58% win rate in events, and it was just Green Tide and Tactical. So you know what? Green Tide is 3 DP. You don't get to combo it with your advancing boys doing actions. They had a crap ton of points increases, which you probably don't care about, which is weird because like beginning of the edition, all my points got like 80 to 90 points cheaper, and now they're back up to only being like 40 points cheaper compared to 10th. I think the big thing that also helped stem Green Tide, you know how like Cadian squads and Orc boys, before support was a role, they had a rule saying you can take 2 leaders.
Yeah, and now you can take 3 accidentally until they get a codex. Yeah.
Yeah, so 20 boys could have taken a war boss, a big boss, and a pain boy all in the same unit. Holy.
I saw people doing that with Gaz. They were taking Gaz, a big boss, and a pain boy.
Exactly. That's a staple of Green Tide. They don't do that anymore now because now they don't have that bodyguard section.
Oh, thank God they did remove it. Okay. Spoilers for everybody watching this at home. I have not gotten to read every single change in each of the factions yet. I just had to glance through them as fast as possible after all of the main issues.
Yeah.
Mostly at a detachment level that I'll be talking about. But cool, they got rid of it early. I know it's gone off of their datasheet that already leaked, but
Yeah, they don't have the bodyguard thing. We're getting a codex in like a month, I guess. Mordaka and Dreadmob aren't purge anymore. Fuck you. They're priority and disruption. Priority on Mordaka, which is when you're mainly taking big stuff and not action pieces, is kind of weird. I guess bring your battle line Gretchen for that, maybe? And other than that, like points changes, like I don't know, boys, pain boss, pain boy went up. Truck is down to 55 points. Let's fucking go.
Trucks at 55 is insane, to be honest.
Insane work.
I think my problem is like talking about it from the Drukhari angle. The problem with dedicated transports was not their point cost. It's new hazardous combined with how explosions with them work now and everything else. It's like,
Emergency disembark is much more punishing.
yes, emergency disembarking is like delete the unit that was in this for any 1 wound army.
Trucks at 55 is I'm immediately disembarking whatever's in it, and that's a 55 point action monkey.
Yeah, that's the awkward problem with this, right? Of like the best use for an 11th edition dedicated transport is not to use it as a transport.
They're like coffins.
Exactly. They're a rolling coffin. It's a terrible idea. And it's really awkward because it's like, it's not really as bad for space Space Marines because they've got 2 wounds, so technically the hazardous rolls and everything else didn't change for them math-wise, but like, if you're 1 wound models, good fucking luck.
Yeah, that's the thing. When you look at the Orks list, you're not seeing the truck spam with knobs. You're seeing kill rigs with 20 guys and stuff in it, or battle wagons with 20 dudes, you know?
I'm just glad we're seeing kill rigs.
Oh yeah, brother. I mean, dude, rolling def with more DACA is something I want to look at. I'm very excited. And Gretchen! So you know how Gretchen are highlighted red in the MFM? They didn't actually go up. It's just that the way you field them is different, where you can get rid of the runt herd if you want. So now, if you don't take any runt herds, 20-man Grots is 80 points.
Yeah, so it's still the same points to take a 10-man with or without a runt herd, right? But then it's cheaper to take the 20-man without the runt.
Yeah, so you take the runt herd, and you bring it like 20 Grots with Zodgrod, slam it up the board, you're laughing.
Orcs are already in a good spot. They were obviously doing the best currently.
They were doing a great spot. They were insane.
I'm shocked they made changes at all because their codex is coming out so soon.
I would say if they weren't currently top, they'd likely just get abandoned.
Yeah, if they were like 51, it'd be whatever, but no, they were stomping, dude.
They're what, like 60 almost?
I don't think anyone has hit 60 yet. I think it's mostly been high 50s for the worst case scenarios.
Which, to be honest, none of the factions hitting 60 is huge. That's honestly shocking.
For a fresh edition, it's crazy good.
Oh, and there is one more like category of updates that like every faction is gonna get. I like to call them vocab updates. It's like these things have frame. Uppy Downy is now at 8 inches. Blah 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 blah.
Yeah, we'll skip all those because they really don't matter. It is just fixing data sheets at this point. But there is one other type. We've talked about it. Their detachments updated, like everyone's did. So, Dread Mob went from Purge the Foe to Priority Assets. Tactical Brigade went from Disruption to Reconnaissance. More DACA went from Purge the Foe to Disruption. Green Tide, fuck you, 3 detachment points.
Deserved though, to be fair.
Deserved.
Well,
fuck you.
Second time Green Tide has broken the meta. God damn it. Can't get these mushrooms out of here.
So, Orcs now have 2 Purge still.
Which is Bully Boys and Big Hunt. Big Hunt, that makes sense. Bully Boys is like, oh, okay. I guess knobs and stuff.
So there's only 2 Purge in Orcs. There's 2 Prio assets, 3 Take and Hold, 3 ways to get Recon, and 3 ways to get Disruption. It's pretty balanced. This will not be the case for some other factions. Get fucked, CSM. So Orcs got away a little bit safe here with a decent balance. I will say, one of our patrons did an excellent job for me and spent the day. Shout out to Free Ride and Kilo. Hi, Kilo. So my peasants who help us whenever we are building a new town in Vintage Story continued working. They made us a lovely doc here that was irrelevant because I realized it had already been done for them over at gdmissions.app, but whatever. I'm proud of them anyway. They broke down Purge, Priority Assets, Take and Hold, Recon, Disruption by every single faction and percentage-wise. Interestingly, post-update, Purge now only makes up 15.67% of all detachment dispositions.
15 point what?
6.
I'm sorry you invited children onto your show.
That's fine. After dealing with Miwa and Pancreas, like, this is nothing.
God. I will say, you say Purge is 15.67. It could be a little higher. I'm glad that the 2 highest percentages are Priority Assets and Take and Hold.
I 100% agree.
It's the simplest. It's the one you want to be the most approachable. Priority Assets introduces the action mechanic most cleanly. So no notes. That one's pretty good.
Yeah, to put this in the percentage point, Take and Hold is currently 24.25% of detachments. This makes sense. It's the most of the 5. It is how to play 40k, hold 1, hold 2, more, hold more. It's what we always tell people is like the very basic rule of a primary. Priority Assets in second, being the Action Monkey one, trading out a resource, which is your activations in exchange for victory points. It's a great design philosophy. It's in second place at 23.13% of detachments. Those 2 in the top 2 slots make perfect sense. I'd argue Purge should probably be in third place after being rebalanced so that it's not as good to take as the others, but it is the easiest one. Like, you turn it into, like with Red Deck, you turn it into a high floor, low ceiling. You end up with like, yeah, I will usually score very well, but I can't score as well as I could if I pick something that's harder to score on. Whether you do that through capping the points differently or making it harder to get points after the first couple, you got a billion different ways to do it, but it needs just a rebalance and you can bring more of it back because it is a thematic way for many armies to play. CSM being one of them, who just get wrecked. You have a single single purge out of your 17 detachments. Are you joking? They're Chaos Space Marines. Why is purge the enemy not something they have easy access to? That's insane.
So that kind of highlights something interesting in that there is sometimes a like disconnect. And like if we're looking at Orks, for example, the Mordaka detachment not being purge the foe anymore, now being disruption, feels like a pretty big disconnect from like a flavor standpoint, right? So they like touted the disposition thing as being like ways to play more flavorful games, and now it kind of feels like they're moving away from that. And like we kind of knew it was going to be a balance lever, but it feels weird to have Mordaka, the detachment about guns and shooting people, not purge the foe.
Yeah, why the fuck isn't Cult of Speed Recon? Son of a bitch. Dude, I played Cult of Speed all 10th edition. Why are you doing this to me? Why is it disruption?
There is that aspect of like, these should be balanced so that you can have the flavorful thing. That's 11th's claim. Did 10th edition succeed in what it set out to do? It was basically the simplified, not simple test and all that. And if it helps for new players, it generally did what it was trying to do. It is a game I like less than 9th edition, but it did what it was trying to do. 11th edition is the whole like making your match play more narrative. And then they immediately went, except when it's hard to balance because we're not allowed to actually pull the right lever yet. Hopefully this is something that is a temporary gripe, and in a month or 3 months it's fixed whenever the fucking lawyers and accountants get thrown in the metaphorical wood chipper. Not real, but you know, maybe real.
Get ready for the Horus Heresy release next year, buddy. Like, go, shoo.
Yeah, it's so frustrating because I would much prefer we rebalance Purge and keep it where it's supposed to be. Like if it makes sense on attachment. Some of these, it's not like Purge getting taken off each one that it got taken off of was a nerf. When we get to certain factions, they're actually giving a huge thumbs up that they lost Purge and got something they wanted instead. Genestealers, we'll get to them. But like, there are times when it's not a bad thing. Some of these I don't even hate. Dread Mob going to priority assets is fine instead of Purge. Tactical Brigade being reconnaissance makes perfect sense over disruption.
Oh yeah, brother.
But Mordaka, Purge the foe becoming disruption is exactly wrong.
I almost feel like disruption is they don't know what to do with this detachment. So disruption, I guess.
I think Brad and I are on the same level of like, disruption was meant to be use score by fucking with what the opponent's game plan is. So like, if your opponent is doing Purge, you score points by staying away from them. If your opponent's doing Take and Hold, you score by disrupting their objectives. If your opponent's doing priority assets, you like counteraction them, which means that it's cute because you get to like counter what your opponent's game plan is. But in practice, as you said, it feels a little scattershot and doesn't have a coherent identity.
It's difficult because when you build a list going, how am I going to win with this? What makes sense? And when it's something like, I want to go unga bunga and hit people with a sword, you go, I'm going to pick something with Purge. When you go, I want to do actions and do all of the interesting stuff, you pick priority assets. If you're picking disruption, what are you doing? You don't know until you see your opponent. So like, you can't build your list in any way that makes sense, which competitively is very bad because now you have to essentially build a list that is 4 lists in one because oops, I'm against recon, I have to play differently. Oops, I'm against priority assets, hope I have action monkeys. Oops, I'm against Purge, I don't want action monkeys because they're free victory points for my opponent.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting challenge. I almost like, I can't think of off the top of my head what they would have done instead.
I had a competitive solution for disruption, but I don't like it as a general solution because it doesn't help casual play. For a competitive rule that I think made disruption spicy was in competitive play, when you're at a tournament, make it where if you have a different force disposition and disruption at the beginning of each game, you can audible to disruption instead of the one you picked.
That's cute.
You go in playing prio assets and you're like, I fucking hate playing prio assets versus recon. I'm playing disruption, like whatever it ends up being.
I like that.
Oh, okay.
I mean, yeah, it doesn't work for pickup games, but for tournaments, definitely.
You know, like you can choose between tactical and fixed, where like you're always going to do tactical because it gives you more. But like if your opponent's bringing a bajillion vehicles, you might as well do fixed, bring it down.
Yeah, fixed exists solely as a control on your opponent, where fixed is there specifically for your opponent's playing a slant list and they want to nerf the slant list. That's why fixed exists. Disruption could be a similar thing of it exists as essentially the quote unquote sideboard, to put it in card game terms, of your other 4 dispositions. If we did this, we have to rebalance everything, right? Because like now disruption is not something you ever want to be your only option because you designed it specifically as like a sideboard option, silver bullet, whatever we want to call it. And ideally, I think if you have that, you would want two variants of it, like disruption and something else you'd have to dream up so that you have 4 quote unquote main detachment types and then 2 other ones you can pick from if you want to go sideboardy. Instead of like, I'm playing Purge, you go, I'm playing a mix of priority assets and disruption 2, whatever it gets called. And that'll give me a great spread. But if you do that, then like you don't want disruption on very much other than a couple 1-pointers that you're taking them specifically to get access to it.
Yeah, unless you like rewrite the rule where it's like disruption is like, oh, this is a mission deck where you only have 4 detachment types, and then maybe like this one's Purge, but it unlocks a disruption option or whatever, and it's only like 2 DP or blah 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 blah.
You could do it different ways. I don't think this is the correct solution either way. I had fun brainstorming it, but I also think the correct solution is fix disruption to be on the same ground as the other 4. Stop making it be weird. And to get back to what we're in the middle of, disruption, after all of the Purge becomes disruption you're going to hear today, is all the way up at 20%. It is above Recon and Purge, which are now rare compared to the other 3. And I feel like this is them trying to force disruption to be played so they can get more data points, because it seems like people were purposely not picking it. And I think they want data on it so that they can figure out what the fuck to do to it.
Yeah, you heard it here first. Everyone play disruption lists for like the next month or so to give GW data, and then you can put it down. Everyone play Tactical Brigade.
And intentionally tank them, please.
Like, that's not an ironic thing. Like, that's an important thing of like, if you want them to balance the game, you have to help. You are the data set. Don't fuck with the data either. Like, you can't be like, I will lose on disruption on purpose because I fucking hate this shit. You have to make it an honest game because they have to know by how much to buff it before you're like, oh fuck, now I'm stuck with disruption because it's broken because we added over buffed.
Yeah, it's early enough in the edition. Just play what you fucking want and then, you know, give them some good data, please.
Yeah, I don't know. Disruption will be a problem for a bit longer. Purge just really needs them to be able to edit these things and we're done with it.
Give it till September, maybe?
I am really hoping it's just they had to wait till next month to do it. I have a fear that we have to wait until real data slates start in the fall, which please bring back the data slate document. It makes this so much easier to do these damn episodes.
We might even have to wait a year till we get another chapter approved.
Oh.
That's the hell version. If they got told they're not allowed to actually fix anything, if that's where we live, goodbye 11th.
I doubt that's where we live, but
I highly doubt that. GW isn't that stupid. All right, where the fuck were we?
Orks!
I guess we kind of finished Orks. I mean, we went through all the detachment changes for it.
So generally, what are your guys' thoughts on the detachment changes for them?
Overall, they're good. I think Orks were doing great. I think they're going to continue to do fine, basically until their codex comes out and launches the entire army into an industrial wood chipper.
No, I've seen our rules.
I mean, look, if the pass is anything to go by.
Brace for your fucking green overlords.
It is the funny one of like, this is a 9th edition to 10th edition's 8th edition, right? Like this is our level up edition where you get whatever last edition was, but we're going to like take off the kid gloves now. We figured it out. So the first codex compared to having a quote unquote 8th edition codex is going to feel great. But if the last 3+ editions are anything to go by, you do not want the first codex next to the Space Marine codex because 9th edition Necron codex, one of the worst piles of shit ever. 10th edition Tyranids did not age well. Here's hoping Orks breaks the pattern there.
I mean, dare I say it's harder to fuck up Orks because we kind of don't give that much of a shit. One could say that our 10th edition codex was not perfectly internally balanced, perhaps. And then we also had, 3 months later more Daka come out or whatever. But like, who gives a shit? We still had people playing like 4 different detachments, Yeah,
Orks had the fun of their detachments, the balance being a different thing, but they had fun written into their rules at first. And then a lot of that had to get nerfed because it was a problem.
I'm the asshole who played Cult of Speed for the entire edition, so like I don't get to talk about balance because it was objectively one of the worst.
I was just amped that Dread Mob came out, and I was like, I'm gonna make sorry bubble button for this, and it's gonna be sick. And then figured out that everybody else is also doing that.
Oh, I made a fucking fidget spinner.
All right, that's even better.
Oh, speaking of Dread Mob, its priority assets. My point I was going to make earlier is you're not bringing a lot of like action pieces in a Dread Mob list. You're bringing a bunch of big clanky things. Why isn't it like Take and Hold maybe? it worked well as Take and Purge. Like, either one of those is fine. Priority Assets
Yeah.
just feels kind of weird unless you have like a bunch of smaller action pieces, which you don't have in Dreadmob. You're bringing a bunch of bricks with big guns.
I can thematically reconcile that in my head at least, and that like priority assets is they want to get the good bits because they're like the mechs and they're trying to upgrade their mechs and stuff, or their robots. I can at least thematically reconcile that one.
Yeah. Maybe they justified it with like Grots being battle line. Just be like, fuck it, 40 Grots, do the thing. Ride in the Gorkanaut and then
Whoa,
go.
60 Gretchen upon ye.
No, I've done that. It's awesome.
All right, where are we going next?
You want to go in order now, Brad? Make things easier?
Sure, just so that we can actually have some sanity by the end of this. This is going to be a real long episode if the first hour and a half to get through one of 20-something factions is anything to go by. So let's move into Space Marines.
I have a thought because in starting a small Space Marine force, I decided to do a Blood Angel successor.
Do you also have 12,000 points of Space Marines to paint? Because it's hell.
No, in fact, I have.
I do.
I've painted every single Space Marine kit I've bought for this edition.
You bastard.
I only bought 1,000 points. I only want to do like those style of games.
Let me pull up my spreadsheet.
I do have 6,700 points of painted orcs though. That's my real county achievement.
6, 7?
Oh!
Ah!
So I have 14,190 points of Space Marines.
Fuck!
12,825 of those are painted.
Based!
Wow. Good for you.
I have an 87.7% of my points of all of my armies are painted.
God damn, I wish.
I think all I've got left is like some of my Armageddon orcs and then a Spartan for Heresy. And then I'm pretty much done with my collection.
Yeah.
Bro, I haven't painted a Necron since I first painted them. Every Necron I've gotten since then is half painted at most.
Oh, dude, I couldn't not paint Necrosaur Amintar.
Hell yeah, brother.
I haven't even purchased them yet.
So good.
They were out of stock like right away for us, and I never bothered actually ordering them, but I really want them.
Well, his entire detachment and lots of his army dudes are nerfed, so hey, maybe you wait until later.
I thought there was something fun about it now.
We'll get there.
Okay, we'll talk about it when we get to Necrons. That's only in like a minute. All right, Space Marines is boring.
Wait.
Nothing really changed of note.
Moving on.
So I was starting my Space Marines. I want to do Blood Angel successors, and then I'm making my list, and I'm like, okay, my Captain and Jump Pack is 80 points. In regular Space Marines, it's 75. Oh, so that means whenever I'm making a list and I want to choose between using my Angelic Inheritors detachment or my just like generic Vengeful Host detachment that anyone can take, I have to manually flip between the Space Marines MFM and the Blood Angels MFM and compare the points, because it doesn't just give me in one place, this is 80 in Blood Angels, this is 75 regular.
There's not a good solution to that, especially with Space Marines bloat and the
Yeah.
weird what can and can't take stuff. There's no win. I can't give GW any shit for that. That's just Space Marines.
Yeah, can we just make them the same points all around then instead of this
No,
bullshit,
no.
please?
No,
We liked
I-
that they finally fixed that. That's
I do
the
actually
good
like
thing.
that. Yeah.
Man, it's tedious.
If you're trying to balance Space Marines, knowing that it's a Space Marine that's going to be played for Space Wolves matters a lot versus one that's going to be played by Imperial fucking fists. They want different things to different amounts. Now there's different argument. It's not worth getting into. Fuck Space Marines. All right. What else changed in Space Marines, guys?
Ironstorm has taken hold, used to be Purge. Forge Fathers and Firestorm were priority, used to be Purge. First Company is now Purge, was priority assets. Forge Fathers and Firestorm being the same, Ironstorm and that is not the same.
Yeah, so Hammer became Purge, Emperor's Shield became Purge, Forge Father went from Purge to Prio, Fulgris went from Disruption to Recon,
Yes, correct.
Love that.
Subversion became Disruption, which actually makes sense.
Yep.
Firestorm Assault Prio, Ironstorm Spearhead taken hold, First Company Purge.
Just go watch the Auspex video that was posted 2 hours before we started recording, and he'll list all the changes.
God damn you, Auspex.
I swear that man has premonitions. How else can he do this?
He's a fucking machine, that man.
Do we want to do the Divergent chapters real quick?
No, I don't, but I guess we can. So there is one thing I know that people were complaining about that's really weird. Speaking of like the points thing between different version of Special Snowflakes, I heard that all of them except Blood Angels randomly can't take Inceptors and Six-Mans anymore.
Yeah.
Not that anyone was doing it, but it's just they oopsied and deleted it.
I don't know if that was an accident.
I don't know either. Why?
I think that was on purpose.
Inceptor.
You'd think they would have like made
Yeah.
a note.
They removed that shit and also made them go up 5 points. What the hell?
It's so weird because like no one runs them in sixes anyway. And like they didn't remove it for Blood Angels. So if you're removing it from every everyone that's not a codex. Why didn't you remove it from Blood Angels too?
I think they just forgot to move it off Blood Angels.
Well, but Blood Angels are the flying guys, I guess.
But Dark Angels are the plasma guys.
Dark Angels is the plasma guys. It's the fucking plasma one. This is the one that should have the argument to take 6 of them, even though it's not good.
We still don't do that, but...
We don't do that here, but we should be allowed.
We still don't do that, but we should have the option.
Oh, do you like Samael having mobile? Do you like being able to bust through walls with your bike?
Well, I got thoughts on Dark Angels. We'll get there.
Go for it. We're here. I don't care.
All right, so I'm gonna again put on my tinfoil hat. I think that this is all a precursor to new Ravenwing stuff because Ravenwing command squads are now support, which means you can attach them along with Samael to Outriders or Black Knights.
Look, tinfoil hat requires you to have something that is a hot take, saying there's gonna be new Space Marines, guys. Hear me out here.
Look, I promise.
That's some Balrock prediction shit.
I promise new Space Marines are coming. Just wait. No, but like specifically, my guess would be they're gonna redo Black Knights and they're gonna redo Samael and maybe some other kind of like Ravenwing character or just bike character in general because it doesn't make sense to move command squads to support otherwise. In addition to the Ravenwing stuff is that the Company of Hunters detachment also got updated to like make it more general, like more of the stratagems apply to things that aren't just Ravenwing, but now also the detachment rule only affects mounted units instead of all Ravenwing, which is interesting. But that's basically all I had.
Everything else is like Van Vet changes, Blade Guard, blah, 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 blah.
Then let's move into Custodes.
Okay, right now, Lions of the Emperor and the Dreadnought one are doing really pretty good, like in the 50s of the win rate. Yippee, woohoo. You know the new Ares gunship that's coming with the new Horus Heresy / 40k box?
What? Ares gunship? No.
What?
Plastic Custodes?
Plastic Ares? The Ares is 5 feet wide.
Oh, wait, what's the tiny one that's in the box that's coming out?
All Custodes look the same to me. I don't know.
God damn it. Well, the Ares gunship, whatever it is an aircraft. Fuck it. It's rule changed. Whatever. All I know is that there was a tiny aircraft.
That thing is a giant piece of resin. It weighs like 45 pounds.
Yeah. Anyway, Games Workshop saw that Lions of the Emperor was doing really good. So that enhancement that gave you +3 strength, +1 AP, and +1 damage, pay 30 points for it now.
Really, there's not too much that changed. The only change was Might of the Moritori, whatever the fuck it was called, changed from Purge to Take and Hold, which is fine because like Take and Hold also matches for Dreadnoughts.
And it's also because, you know, that was one of the ones taken competitively. So now you don't get to get Purge with your Dreadnoughts and characters. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, but like this one, I don't have issues with the ones where it's like, okay, Dreadnoughts, Custodes, Take and Hold, it's fine.
Yes.
This is not just a punishment. This one makes sense. It's fine.
You'll find that forgetting frame was a pretty common theme across basically everything. So
yeah, we're not going to read off everything that got framed everywhere because it's a lot. All right.
I don't know shit fuck about sisters. Help.
I also don't care about sisters. Bricky isn't here to defend them.
That's okay. I'll white knight them real quick. There were some interesting changes to sisters. Points wise, they got some for like pretty decent cuts. Vol went up, so that kind of counteracts some of the buffs rather because you're going to be taking her no matter what because she is still just the best data sheet in the entire codex. One of the best things that they changed was Bringers of Flame, now 2 DP instead of 3. And its disposition changed. It's no longer Purge the Foe, it's now priority assets because sisters fucking hate playing Purge. Too many small units that, you know, just die to stiff wind.
You don't understand, they're trying to purge themselves.
They are trying to purge. You know, there are some detachments where that is true. Army of Faith, absolutely demolished. It's like completely unplayable now. It was pretty close before. 2 of the like very key strats got nerfed pretty hard, and on top of the Miracle Dice just already being absolute cheeks, you're never going to play Army of Faith anymore. Celestine didn't catch the characters res as a unit of 1 nerf, which I don't know if we mentioned that yet, but there was a like pretty big sweeping change across a lot of these characters where when they resurrect, they only come back as a unit by themselves.
Yes! Karn does the same thing.
There were a couple of characters that didn't end up catching that nerf. I think that was like mostly targeted at Necrons. Celestine is one of the ones that didn't get it. Overall, I think sisters are still pretty playable. I think Dominions are about to go crazy because they're now cheaper than Battle Sister squads, and Bringers of Flame is actually really good. So I think sisters are actually in an okay spot.
You want to talk about AdMech? I'm excited.
Sure, let's move into AdMech.
Dude, finally, for the first time in like 3 editions, every data sheet has the same army rule. You don't have the priests with canticles and the Scutari with Doctrina. Everyone got Doctrina now. Canticles doesn't exist. We don't care about that. That's a 9th edition edition thing.
Didn't in 10th edition we fix this in the data slate to add Doctrina to everybody, and then we just forgot to move that data slate change over? I think robots was the only exception where they had to like get it through their detachment or whatever for a while. Although didn't they even fix that at the end?
Well, guess what? Robots has it now. Castellan Robots just gets in the data sheet. Hell yeah, brother.
We're back to where we were before 11th. Like, that's my point, is like, didn't we have this until very recently?
I don't think so, because the Corpuscari Electro Priest didn't have it.
Oh yeah, Electro Priest I don't think ever had it, no.
Yeah,
Robots could only get it through the Cybernetica detachment.
Yeah.
Anyway, literally everyone has it now. Congratulations. Your whole army gets your whole army rule like it always should.
Yes. And speaking of armies, technically, if you bring a Titanicus army, you're taken hold. You have a detachment, I guess.
Yeah, congrats, Titan players.
There you go. Play an Apocalypse game with like a Reaver. You're taken hold. Sure. But yeah, add Mech Doctrina for everyone. The Data Smith, you know how like leaders always lead, so they keep all their keywords? If his robots die, he does lose the vehicle keyword, so you don't just get to have anti-vehicle against him. There's some points changes, like Astari went down, yay, boo. It's minor. It's like plus or minus 10.
What changed about Rad Zone?
So before, Rad Zone was, because it's a battle shock rule, right? If you take cover, it's used to say until the end of the battle round you're battle shocked, and then you do your like mortals or whatever.
Yeah, because it didn't technically matter, so
Yeah.
it just randomly set it, but now that is actually incorrect for how battle shock works.
And so they removed it and just said you're battle shocked, because then we know it persists. So it just it's vocab.
It's vocab, but it is technically a functional change because 11th changed battle shock and it was out of date now. So it's nice that it just says battle shocked, which is all it ever had to say, but
Yeah, I think most people were playing it that way anyway.
Oh, you mean people are playing Rad Zone in the Big 26?
I've seen a lot of people playing Rad Zone.
Oh no shit.
Since
Oh,
11th
yeah.
edition came out, yeah, a lot of people are playing Rad Zone. It's been interesting to see AdMech. A lot of people have been jumping around detachments. I think like most detachments in AdMech are playable now, so it's been fun.
I think it's one of the better wins of detachment points existing.
Yeah.
Of you can actually do some mix and match, and it doesn't feel awful to take something that's like kind of a joke, but like if I accent it with this, then I can get 2,000 useful points together.
It's almost always 2DP detachment and then Lords of the Forge, because Lords of the Forge is just auto take.
Yeah.
But now that Halo Screed
That's the one I see most competitively.
Halo Screed changed to priority assets, which now makes that a much more playable detachment, because AdMech not great at Purge.
Yeah, and that's a good example of one where like we moved off Purge and they're actually thanking you for it.
Yeah.
There's a couple others that I'm familiar with that are like, we got off Purge, thankfully, because we are not a Purge army.
We're leaders.
All right, let's move from AM into AM with Imperial Guard.
All right. Anyone who is like, dang, guard is washed, and then the whole Reddit thing, I ignore that. All I see is that the Cadian command squad, instead of giving the benefit of cover, now rerolls battle shock. I guess it's just we don't want things to get free benefit of cover as much. Kazakin Sergeant doesn't get power sword anymore either, I guess.
I really just wish we had moved 10 points up on the price of all of the troops again. I just wanted it to happen.
Just the meltdown would have been historic.
Like, I just wanted to see it happen, and then they win another GT with infantry spam.
Oh yeah, especially because Recon keeps its +1 to saves while in cover. You still get your -1 to hit, you still get your +1 save. You're still playing Recon. That hasn't changed, you know?
Importantly, the Baneblade is down again.
Yeah!
So, there's a conspiracy afoot here. All of the super heavies went down 35 points. 5 Baneblades is now a legit list you can run.
Let's not say legit isn't good. Legit is in you can physically run
Look,
it now.
It might be good. 5 like massive toughness, 13 bodies on the board.
Where do you deploy
How are you
them?
scoring points?
In reserves, damn it. You're just purging. I don't know. I don't know what disposition that detachment is.
Either Steel Hammer or Grizzly Company. One of
It would
those
be
two.
Steel Hammer. I don't know what Steel Hammer's disposition is off the top of my head.
Hold on. Steel Hammer is Purge. Let's fucking go. Hey.
Let's go. See?
Yeah.
See?
Woo!
There's something here. But on top of that being now a legitimate list, I think that is something to do with the Baneblade disappearing off the storefront, because it seems like really interesting timing that now they suddenly drop them, so everybody is going to go buy Baneblades when they just disappeared off the store because they're either getting redone or reboxed or axed.
Is this not known? The Baneblade is already up for Sunday pre-order. Like LGS's the new Baneblade box is already something they can pre-order pre-order.
It's happening,
Wait,
brother.
what?
Yeah, it's literally just the Baneblade box.
I can't believe this.
It looks like they just reboxed it. It'll be out in a week and a half, probably a week after this episode airs.
All right, well, I'm taking my tinfoil hat off and throwing it in the trash.
It's literally, it just got reboxed.
Hey, at least you can bring like a storm sword.
At least I can take 5 Baneblades.
Honestly, dude, a Stormlord filled with Bullgrin doing steel hammer and abhuman detail is really funny. You can just go up mid and just stay there.
Mark my words, this month we'll see somebody with 5 Baneblades winning a GT.
There's a guy bringing a Baneblade chassis. I don't remember which one. It's either Stormlord or Shadow Sword to an RTT this week that in our area. I'm very excited to see how it does.
This is also a stealthy GSC buff. Brood Brothers
Oh
rise
my
up.
god.
No.
Brood Brothers rise up.
No. No.
Other detachment things, Combined Arms is now 2 DP.
Yes, that one's exciting.
That's huge, actually. That might actually be the biggest change.
I'm very excited. Mechanized is reconnaissance now because you're trying to go super fast in transports. So yeah, that makes sense. I agree.
Yeah, it was a little weird as Purge for something that is transport heavy.
Yeah, man. I think it makes sense to be, I don't know, maybe not Scions, but like something in a Chimera, run it up, put it down, boom, you're good.
All right, moving on from Guard, 2 Grey Knights. They get one of the first examples of one of the cooler changes, which is they went through and tried to explicitly spell out where you can do the strategic reserve turn 1 ingress move. Grey Knights getting it on their army rule so that it works just like it did in 10th, where you could do it on turn 1.
There you go. Vocal update. Bada bing, bada boom.
Yeah, but other than that, they did Voldus got the change that like everyone got where his -1 to hit became stealth plus -1 to hit melee.
Yeah.
Everything else is pretty much just nothing, right?
Yeah, it's kind of a nothing burger.
Let's talk about Imperial Agents, the real winner of this.
2 DP!
Holy shit, you can play the game, guys. Congratulations. You're still not a real faction, but you know.
This is actually interesting. I did, at first glance, I was like, great, you now can take Veiled Blade, which means you're still going to have to spend 140 points on a Calidus. But I looked at the stratagems for Veiled Blade because I never actually like gave them a good glance, and they're actually really good. So there is something to be said for taking Veiled Blade and not actually taking any assassins, and you just get access to a bunch of banger stratagems.
Veiled Blade also, they reduced the point cost on all the enhancements by hilarious numbers, which shows you how absolutely fucked they were. The Veiled Blade enhancements went down 25 points, 30 points, 20 points, 25 points. Why did they cost so much?
They just wanted you to play Pokemon with assassins, I guess.
But the big thing for Agents of the Imperium is it is no longer the fuck you, everything's 3 detachment points, stop playing this. They now are all 2 detachment points, with Veiled Blade being 1. So you can technically do 2 different detachments. Veiled Blade is a buff on the rest of, like, this is technically a playable faction now. Would I recommend you ever buy into Agents of the Imperium? Hell no. But like, you can technically play this now.
It's still a fake army. I hope you guys get a real army rule soon, but it's more playable than it was yesterday.
The paper mache doll that you're using to sculpt into a person, you've now painted the paper mache. Doesn't look like a person yet, but it's closer.
I'm glad you said doll and not fleshlight.
What? Oh god, yeah, imagine the paper cuts. Bill, you'll cut that.
No, don't! No, don't!
Wait, no, don't cut that! No,
Please,
wait.
please.
That sounds so painful.
All right, Knights? Question mark?
Sure. Imperial Knights, one of the highest win rates.
Yeah, I mean, there's many reasons. Plunging Fire helps. The fact that Gate Wardens and Dominus gave you Purge was pretty awesome. It also ignored modifiers to hit. Goddamn. +1 to hit. Goddamn.
Let's not ignore the worst part of Gate Warden Lance, and that your gate area, or whatever the hell it's called, your line, was 2 entire buildings wide.
No, that's what I liked. That was the best change.
No, that's
It finally
crazy.
became a detachment.
Wait.
It was a meme.
It was just the entire no man's land.
We took it from meme to holy shit, it works. We got +1 detachment to meme. And now it's a worse meme because it used to be a 40 millimeter thick line. It is now a 0.1 millimeter thick line.
Well, we don't know how big the circular foundation marker is supposed to be.
It doesn't matter because it says you draw a line from the closest part of one foundation marker to the closest of another. another.
Doesn't say how wide the line is.
I think every time they talk about drawing a line, it's 1 millimeter.
Shit.
Yeah, no, it's bad now. Actively awful. They murdered the detachment.
It's not even Purge anymore. It's Taken Hold and I think it's Taken Hold. Fuck.
Yeah, I don't like the way they fixed it,
No,
but I didn't like the way it was before.
I think the real answer would have been to lower the buff it gave, now that it was much more accessible.
That was the one that gave ignore mods, right? They already have plunging fire, so like
Yeah.
that plus ignore mods is like, ugh.
I think the buff should have changed and keep it where it's like this detachment activates a decent amount of the time, but now like it's not as strong as it is in 11th. I don't like that it's back to just like literally not a detachment again. You will never take this because it's a joke. One of the strats in it, because I remember because my brother used this, requires you to step on the line. How fucking stupid do you have to be to step on the 1 millimeter thick line?
I'm gonna put one model on either side of it.
See, they want you to think it's Taken Hold. It's actually Disruption because you're putting a tripwire down.
It makes perfect sense to have changed it to Taken Hold.
Yeah, I agree.
Instead of Purge. That is a good change. They don't need Purge for Knights. It's already what they want to be doing. Taken Hold makes thematic sense with Gate Wardens. Okay, all of this is good. I don't like ruining the fact that it was like an actual, you could activate your detachment ability, whereas now it's like back to a joke. If I stand my entire army on a line, it works.
How do you feel about Dominus being priority assets rather than Purge?
It's probably a balance correct thing because it's the whole like they don't want you to just take it only to activate Purge because you're playing Knights and it's really strong. And Prio assets is a little defensible because again, like it was pointed out, Prio assets can be shown off as a Knight thing because if you're a Titanic based detachment, which it is because it's Dominus class, then you get to do an action and still shoot. So you could argue it's showing that fact off.
Yeah, you know what? I fuck with that. I retract my statement of cringe.
It's a clear nerf. It was not done because of that, but it's like that's the why.
I understand. Also, the Knight Castellan went up by 25 to pay for Dominus.
I do think Imperial Knights probably should drop a recon or a prio assets to get back up to 2 Purge eventually after Purge gets fixed.
And then, Gate Wardens needs to be more than a tripwire.
Yeah, but Gate Wardens, again, I'm fine with that one staying Taken Hold.
Yeah.
I just think it should have been a different change.
We get to talk about their chaotic cousins now.
Sure, we'll just start right into Chaos Knights. This one we have a little more to say, as I think all three of us actually play or at least know Chaos Knights well. The difference between Knights is the difference between having a fucking army rule or not. You've got one near top faction of the edition. You've got the other one, actual literal bottom faction of the edition.
Wasn't it like 39 or something? Like not even close in terms of GT win rates?
It was below that 1 week. It was at like 29. Battle Shock sure is awesome, isn't it?
Yeah, can we have Doom, Despair, and Death or whatever? That was neat.
No, can we literally just get back favor of the Dark Gods?
My man! No, yeah, dude, the fact that you challenge the gods to give you buffs, and then when you kill enough things, it activates the second layer. Hell yeah, brother.
Literally, not even to that level. Just what Eric cooked up with the enhancements last time would have been enough. It's better than fucking, did you battle shock him? Well, now you can have a little cookie. I'm
Damn.
a knight. Why did I not clean the unit off of the board? Why am I keeping him half alive to activate a rule that makes it very easy to kill something that's mostly dead anyway by that point?
I like the idea of knights, Chaos Knights having auras, because not only do you have like if you're within 12 inches, you get plunging fire. It incentivizes you to be forward and aggressive, which fits Chaos's flavor. But like, the aura abilities are ass. Just pure ass.
Chaos Knights, as far as points changes, very easy. Huntsman and Stalker went down 5 points.
Cool. Where's my Despoiler getting unnerfed? Because it was clearly over nerfed to oblivion. We went from an okay win rate with it to now utter trash while getting buffed in our Battle Shock Matters. We swear this time, guys.
Well, I can't offer you a Despoiler, but what I can offer you is a Knight Ruinator.
Oh.
I don't want the Ruinator to be slightly less
No,
shit.
brother. The Knight Desecrator. What do you want, bro? The Desecrator is where it's at. Have you seen the changes to its gun?
Yeah. So Desecrator's laser has devastating wounds against monster and vehicles now, moving off of its data sheet ability, and now its data sheet ability just lets it ignore hit and wound modifiers. Good. Still not what the faction needed, I think.
Yeah, and then again, the Ruinator changed from 2d6 for its weapons to d6 plus flat 6, so you at least have one of your dies be a 6, but like, if you've read these, that ain't enough, Chief.
No, Ruinator's still bad. With the state of Chaos Knights, the Ruinator might actually see play now.
No.
There's something to be said about like having that amount of chaff clear out of it. And I think it will see play. I think the Abominant will start to see a little bit more play.
Why would the Abominant start to see more play?
Oh, it ignores cover.
It has been seeing more play, but now it ignores cover on its Volkite.
The devastating wound gun it has ignores cover.
Oh, is it really worth that much?
I mean,
With the state of the faction, yes.
That's fair, but it's an AP0 weapon. Like, I still remember how bad that is.
it also is one of the few units that like procs a battle shock test. So like you can try and activate your army rule.
It's always been a trap.
I know. The thing is, like, the fact the way that faction is now, you need activation keys in order to get your rule instead of just, getting your rule, because Chaos Knights be angry. That means take at least one Abominant so you can at least try and make someone take it before you shoot them rather than after.
And because it's dev, the more hits you get through on the Volkite, the more chances you have to get dev. So
Yeah, it's 12 shots.
Yeah, so that's +2, so it's statistically once every 3 turns, one more devastating wound hit.
hey, I'll take it. That's one more dead guardsman. How many points is a guardsman now? That's 7.5 more points dead.
It's 3 damage. It could be a dead Terminator.
If you're shooting your AP0 weapon at 2-up save Terminators, I can't save you.
But it's dev. It's gonna work. I swear. I'm gonna roll so many 6s.
1 out of 6 times, it works every time. Oh, only 6 of them hit. Didn't roll a 6. Well, I got egg on my face.
Listen, I'll have CP. I'll have all the CP generators my army has. Wait.
At least the Night Ruinator is no longer just a casino. There's now a complimentary buffet included.
Just unnerf the Dispoiler and say, sorry guys, we forgot this was propping up your large knights. Just do it. It's the coolest thing in the faction objectively. It's a dude with 2 gigantic chain gun arms. It is sick as shit.
It's also like the default like mirror to the Questoris pattern. Like the Despoiler is just the generic, yeah, this is the knight that doesn't have a special vibe.
It's also the one that is the mirror to it of like, we can do what we want. We don't have to follow your specific loadouts.
Fuck you, 2 chain guns.
Yeah, fuck you, 2 chain guns. Let's go.
Exactly, yeah.
Chaos Knights is in a bad spot when War Dog spam isn't winning.
Yeah. I mean, dude, the fact
It's
that
all
they
we
gave
can
you
do.
they
I've
gave
got
you
one trick.
they gave you like 2 War Dogs to be a little bit cheaper. It's like, yes.
5 points off, 2 War Dogs. Okay, cool,
Yay.
I guess.
All right, Chaos Demons.
Vocab updates for healing. You gain a little bit of value on non-battle line because you technically can revive dudes that are like 3 wounds. Hooray. Kind of like Necrons.
We're really going to ignore Scintillating Legion.
I wanted to keep the mood up.
Okay. As a man who played it literally 2 weeks ago and loves this detachment, what did you do to Infernal Puppeteer? I'm not going to pretend it was a balanced enhancement. It's probably the greatest enhancement ever made. You just turned it into actual dog shit.
I'm sorry. The 2.2 of your enhancements went up quite a bit. You know what's weird? Blood Crushers went up a bunch because you know how like you can choose your charge target after you roll now? That means no matter where they end up, you could just fuck someone up with your charge mortals. So they went up in points.
I feel like that makes sense.
I don't have issue with like that level of stuff. My issue is you murdered my boy. You didn't just fix Infernal Puppeteer of being too good. You straight up deleted it and put something there to pretend it still exists. Bro, you gave it plus 9-inch detection range. There isn't 9 inches left on the gun outside of detection range.
Well, hold on. It went down 5 points, though.
Oh, Kairos. He used to have a Vect Aura. Now it's just selecting a target. Was that implemented before this?
You put me on the spot. I can't remember. 1 second.
So Logan Grimnar used to have a thing where like if you were just within 12 inches of him, you were +1 CP to stratagems, which fucking sucked because he had a big base. Kairos has a massive base and he also had a 12-inch Vectora. It sucked ass. Now you only select 1 unit to be once per turn. You don't get to have a big aura around you.
Well, it already was once per turn when your opponent targets a unit within 12. It was an aura, but it was once per turn.
Did they just change the wording then? Because I guess it does the exact same thing.
Yeah, I think they
don't
just
it?
changed the wording. I think they just 11thified the wording.
Okay, I'm dumb. Oh, any of y'all play against Plague Legion at all?
No.
Norgal guys? Fuck
Nope.
Beast and Norgal, on God. I know that they're just tar pits that you can ignore, but the new healing rules means if you take 2 of them and you manage to kill 1, if they succeed their battle shock, they just bring him back. The fuck?
That's amazing. I love that.
And then their rule means it's basically
They
full
heal.
health.
yeah, they heal a full. Son of a bitch.
I love that. No, that's great. I think the Beast of Nurgle needs to be a more impressive unit. That thing was a meme back in like 9th edition because it was like 30 points for a $45 model. It's fine that that it's actually like a better model now. If anything, it should be like fully baby dread tier of like move it up to like 125 points ish and like give it a little more.
Isn't it only T7? Can we like bring it up to like T9 or something?
Sure. It's Nurgle. Why not?
Yeah, exactly. They're already 75 points each. Bring them up to like, I don't know, 85, 90 points.
No, I'm telling you, like bring them up over 100 points, make them worth it for Nurgle so that Nurgle wants to play it and so that Knight stops playing it.
Yeah, make them feel like they do in fucking Darktide, dude. If they're gonna feel this chunky, oh man. I just love the healing rules. It's a nuisance. I ran into it with a game recently. Fuck those things.
Yeah, in AOS, they basically got turned into like an AOS Dreadnought.
Oh, cool.
Like that was before we got their glow up to being worth like 75 points in 40k.
Yeah.
When they were still like absolute garbage here.
Yeah, I played against them in 9th edition too.
I'm fine with Beasts of Nurgle. Like make them go up in points so that I stop wanting them in Chaos Knights because I don't have access to anything smaller than a Knight, and do something about Nurglings. Anyway, CSM. I hope you like playing Creations of Bile if you want to play Purge the Foe, because that's your only option out of 17 detachments.
Yeah, so Soulforge is now taken hold, and also Vashtor went up 15.
To be fair, Vashtor didn't go up in points at the beginning of 11th, and he should have. So that's a fine one.
Vashtor was the best demon prince that CSM have access to.
Which is funny because he was terrible when he came out.
Yeah, I'm ready to do the coffin dance on Defilers. I don't think we're there yet.
Bro, this is one that frustrates me because like the Defiler, people are acting like you can't fix it with points. And I'm screaming, if you literally just remove the word Defiler from the sheet and say this is the new Chaos Knight, you'd be like, wait, this is better than the large knights, but costs 100 points less than them.
Is that how you fix Chaos Knights? You let them take Defilers?
It'd make them a lot better.
No, you take Chaos Knights and bring them down to Defiler levels of points.
No, I don't want to do that. I really don't.
Yeah, and then you can just use strategic reserves to fit all your models outside your deployment zone.
The problem with the Defiler is the Defiler that they wrote is literally better than the best Chaos Knight and cost like it was a fucking Land Raider. It was absolutely stupid to look at on paper. I don't know how anyone thought it was going to be okay. The Defiler went up in points again, obviously, is what we're pointing at here. And the ability got deleted.
Yeah, no more full wound rerolls. You only get the rerolls of 1. And also, are you even gonna have like the spare points in your list to run it anymore? Because all your other core shit also went up.
Yeah, the thing that gets me is that Defilers going up makes sense. The fact that Chosen went up, which I guess is like just to counteract the Huron stuff.
Yeah, people were playing them with
but like,
Huron.
just put more points on Huron.
Exactly.
Which they did. They did.
And then both Predators went up, which is like, that's what you're going to take when the Defiler is now too expensive to take. So where the hell, like, where do CSM pivot now?
You read the Forge Fiend sheet and then you cry.
Yeah, I guess.
Yes, so I mean, hey, the Mutilators went down 15. So
Great.
yay. Everyone thinks that GW writes really good rules for things to sell, but then they forget that the Mutilators were just not good and they tried to sell them.
Yeah, it's just they have trouble figuring out initial balance of things. It's not like a conspiracy theory. It's just they swing and a miss in both directions constantly. The Mutilators came out with the twins, right? And the twins were cracked and the Mutilators were hot trash.
Also, Brokey Stormbrow, whatever the Votann character is, and the Tyranid with Lash Whip. So they were 1 for 4. Like, come on.
Anyway, the losing the ability, I'm mostly fine with it. The problem is it's like, I liked it having a more flavorful ability than the most basic, just reroll wound of 1. But like, obviously it's way too good for its point. So it's like, at a certain point, I just have to go with, this is fine, will last until the codex for it.
I did like the idea of like, oh, but if you Dark Pact it, you also gain this. I like that flavor of rule where you try and push it, you know? But it was too strong with the rune reroll. So unless they rewrite that ability, I do still want it to have a thing where like, it has this, but if you Dark Pact, you get this.
Yeah, there's not a happy thing with them right now. I say leave it be until it gets a new data sheet, or we properly point it at like 400 points. All right, so actual detachments. Murder Talon Raiders lost Purge for Recon. It makes thematic sense. It's fine. It is also clearly a nerf. Soulforge Warpact, I'm a little more iffy on because like it's about taking big demon engines to eat things. So we went to Take and Hold, but Take and Hold doesn't make sense because it's about the like, you're going to be doing a bunch of damage to yourself.
And dude, Tempting Addendum is 40 points now. That's the big thing where like, if you suffer mortal wounds due to a Dark Pact, you add the number of mortals, but you get to reroll hit roll.
I don't know if Soulforge should have changed off Purge. I feel like that one probably should have stayed, but I think it was again a problem of they don't want to admit that they mispriced the Defiler originally by like almost 200 points. So they're trying to do everything possible to leash the Defiler that is not just admitting that it should have been like 400 fucking points.
Yeah, I feel like that change is like specifically targeted at the Defiler.
Yeah, I mean, what other one would you want to run? Look at the rest of the demon engines.
Yeah, they're not doing it for the fucking Mauler Fiend, I'll tell you that.
I wish. I love Princess. Anyway, CSM, Rip Bozo, hope you enjoy Bile. Emperor's Children. What changed here? I didn't even read this one, guys.
Oh, dude, Frenzied Host is the current new hotness right now. Because before it was like Coterie the Conceited was cool and awesome.
It was the best one.
11th dropped. Woody from Toy Story. I don't want to play with you anymore. Now, Frenzied Host and Court of the Phoenician is kind of baller. Because Frenzied Host gives you +1 strength on advance and fallback, which you're going to be doing all the time anyway. Pretty baller. And it's only 2 DP. So Court of Phoenician, boom, gives you Purge with it. So pretty nice. And then like Court of Phoenician also better because Fulgrim went down by like 10. So cool. Lucius the Eternal is now 120. I think that's pretty neat. And then, you know, your Defiler got nerfed. Die.
So Frenzy Host changed to Reconnaissance from Disruption, which is just a buff. Spectacle of Slaughter went from Purge to Disruption, which is a nerf. Carnival of Excess went from Priority Assets to Disruption, which feels weird. I don't think either is right for Carnival of Excess unless you want to argue why it should be either of them.
I mean, Carnival distracting guys, haha, funny. Disruption, I guess.
I guess.
I'm grasping at straws, man.
I know.
Coterie the Conceited clearly nerfed. Purge became Priority Assets. That one, like, you can always argue Priority Assets for any Space Marine is somewhat thematic, and I guess, but like for EC, it's kind of weird to not have some Purge availability there. But I think if you didn't do it to Coterie, it would just be the default again. I don't know what you do there. You still have 2 Purge detachments, so it's fine.
It's fine. And like, Frenzied is good enough where like you can take it with one of the Purge ones and you'll be doing okay.
Yeah.
So in Death Guard, you know how Death Shroud did this funny thing where they would rapid ingress within 6 and then kick your shit in?
Yes.
Not anymore. They don't. The death approaches is only in the movement phase now. Can you get more than 6 inches away?
I still don't like it.
You still are only making like a 7-inch charge, which is cool. And there's lots of vocab updates that change that -1 to hit shit to -1 BS stuff. Just basic stuff like that.
All right, Brad, before we get too much further into this, how about that secret password for the awesome giveaway?
This way they have to find it in the middle. I like it. All right. You have to, on August 1st, go to My Blue Sky, which is Dr. Ruler, and you will have to open up the Google form, fill it out, edit a picture of a model you've painted along with a message containing the secret passphrase. And this secret passphrase for this month is colossal fuck up. Get permission from your mom so that you can write a swear word. This will make more sense next week.
Well, guess what? It's time for your boys. The boys with a 57% win rate. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, look, we're great because we actually kind of have Psychic when everyone else lost it. And Psychic is cooler than everything else in this game.
And even if you, like, you know, have your Cabal spellbook, also lots of your weapons have ignore mods. So hooray, ignores cover.
Yeah, okay. Generally, do we deserve a nerf? Absolutely. I don't like the detachment change.
Hex Warp being 3 DP now?
Yeah, because, like, we're to damn near Tau levels of you can't use your 1-pointers. They made the 1-pointers and it's like, what do we have left we can mix with them?
What can you mix with them? I don't know. He sounds like that.
The remaining 2 DPs is Change Host
What?
and Warpforge Cabal and Warp Meld Pact. That's Zongor, which is hilarious because it doesn't work with the 1-pointer Zongor one.
Also, why is your Zongor one the 1 Purge one and it's 2 DP?
They really would like you to buy a Zongor. I don't know. It's very strange that that one is Purge, honestly, because it doesn't make sense for them thematically. So Warpforge is the vehicles for the Psyker Army one that I'm not a big fan of.
Wouldn't that one be Purge? The hell?
That one's Prio assets. And then Change Host is our meme. That's the demon detachment that did nothing until they finally fixed it, so it did literally anything.
And then the big demons points went up. Yay.
I think it's awkward that it's like every playable detachment we have is 3 DP now, except for maybe Warp Meld. Warp Meld saw play before big nerfs happened to it. It might still be somewhat playable mixed with something something else, though, you really want to mix it with the other mutant attachment, which you're not allowed to do. So just play Grand Coven.
I guess so. I mean, War Meld is neat because you do have a lot of fast-moving invul save bodies. So, like, that's cool. But yeah, unique mutant. Fuck.
It's just, look, we deserved a nerf. Abso-fucking-lutely. I don't think go play 10th edition, stop playing 11th is a good idea. Like this one, when we get to Tau, I don't like it there, where they have zero actual things they can even play anymore. I do not like the everyone gets to play 11th edition except you. Fuck you. I can't figure out what to do with you. Whatever.
All right, we get to talk about one of my factions now. World Eaters, hoo boy. So we had a bunch of things that had purge, and then we realized we can't fucking kill anything. So,
which is its own problem. World Eaters is bad at killing stuff. Where did we go wrong?
So we decided, hey, all of our shit is down in points. Juglord, -10. Khorne Berserkers, -15. 8-bound, -10. Here's the thing. Every goddamn list you see is just 8-bound Berserkers and like either Angron or a bajillion Slaughterbound. So like your list isn't probably going to change realistically.
I mean, a lot of times Berserkers are just there to fill points. Like they hit like a pillow.
I know, like they're strength 4.
I mean, I guess like that kind of applies to most of the army.
Yeah, that's why you're always bringing fucking Berserker Warband. And Berserker Warband is 3DP Purge. But okay, here's my take, all right? Here's my take, right? They really want me to play Butchers of Khorne. Games Workshop is dangling Butchers of Khorne in front of me. Jingle, jingle, jingle. Hey, Gore-Stained Veterans, that upgrade you can give to your Terminators, hey, it's -5 points now. Also, the disposition for your Terminators is taken hold. So it's like, oh, I have this like Giga Brain thing of like, my Terminators are cheaper. It's only 1 DP. I'll take that. And then I'll take Cult of Blood for just a fuckload of Jackals and Goremongers and just run over the objectives. And that's how I'll play World Eaters. Does it feel like World Eaters? Hell no. But the carpet is guys, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah. Last edition, I thought it was very cool that they took their shooting, made it technically worse. They made it hit on 4s, but then they gave it all rapid fire. That's like a very cool thematic way to handle the fact that like, yes, World Eaters still shoot, but this still incentivizes you to get close and like play like World Eaters want to play.
Oh, dude, 8 shots on a Terminator and you get to reroll the hit roll.
Very good. Doesn't carry over to this edition where you now hit on 5s. So you lost all your shooting capability. You lost, or I guess, you know, since Codex, you never really had much of your melee capability anyway.
Yeah, Forge Fiend is -20. Still not enough.
Angron going down is nice. 8-bound and stuff going down is nice.
We're back to the spiral of like Angron goes up and down in points just depending on what they need. Angron was like super low in points in, I think it was low in points in 9th, went back up in 10, then slowly went down throughout 10. And now he's down to 330.
330 for a demon Primarch is disgusting.
Insulting.
Yeah.
Insulting.
I think this like kind of, it doesn't quite put World Eaters back on the menu, but like
No, it
they're still
doesn't.
standing outside the restaurant shirtless and screaming that Khorne has a reservation or something. Like
Yeah.
they're close, but they're not there.
Speaking of Forge Fiends, Brazen Engines and Goretrack no longer have that unique keyword. So you can have your Demon Engines and your transports. I don't know why they decided to make the different vehicles the same tag, but hey, they didn't anymore. Yippee, woohoo. I am going to try, because I have some like Heresy Red Butchers. I'm going to bring like 20 Terminators and say, all right, let's do this. 1 per objective.
Butchers of Khorne is cool. I do think that means they're probably never going to actually make a 40k
No.
Red Butchers.
No. Well, they won't make Red Butchers, but I think we will get some kind of Assault Terminator.
I'm torn between like they won't make Red Butchers and whether or not it's accurate to do. You have to do it because it's literally the only thing anyone knows about World Eaters is the Red Butchers. So you have to make them.
I know, but they don't fit with the 40k lore. They're fit with the
Doesn't
30K
matter.
lore.
Luckily, 40k lore for World Eaters is about as long as a receipt.
Damn, you're right.
Not even a CVS receipt.
No, not a CVS receipt, a normal one.
I like to imagine that like the Primaris chaplain, the things coming off of his shoulders are just CVS receipts. Have you seen those things?
All right, Aeldari, how did they fuck you over this time? They didn't really.
Yeah, Wraith Knights are cheaper. Hooray. Harlequins are basically all cheaper, and no DP changes to your detachments and no tag changes yet, so...
Yeah, fuck you.
Yeah, fuck you. Oh, Eldrad can lead more stuff, and considering I see Eldrad in basically every list because he's a CP generator, that's pretty good.
There's really not too much to change in Eldar, huh?
Yeah, just like some of your leaders are cheaper.
Well, Eldritch Raiders became Purge. Eldritch Raiders wasn't wildly killy to my understanding.
I don't know if Aeldari can play Purge well. Aeldari plays Recon better than they play anything else.
Well, Warhost changed from Purge to Recon.
Hooray! That's what you're gonna play.
This is nice because Recon really is like what Aeldari was finding was really good for their win rate.
Yeah.
100%. Does anyone want to explain why Aspect Host is disruption? Did it just not know where to put it?
Yeah, that has to be it. Aspect Host in general is like, it does everything. Therefore, I guess disruption? I don't know.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
should it have been prio assets? Maybe, but then like you're doing prio assets with your expensive units? That seems stupid. Should it have been take and hold? Well, Eldar aren't good at taking and holding unless Wraith. I mean, even though they're not good at it, but they're supposed to be. Should it have been Purge? Probably. Honestly, you could just make it Recon so that it matches their general, like, it's the core identity of Azurani and it's the core identity of what Eldar is good at winning with, so they match, and that's the best you can do there. It's weird. Power Rangers is weird.
That's why I prefer big bad Beetleborgs.
Yeah, Beetleborgs, baby! All right, Drukhari.
Okay, so previously the
All
classic.
right, Necrons.
Fuck. Hey. There were some detachment changes. It doesn't matter. You're still taking Exhibition and Sky Splinter. Oh, wait. Exhibition and Sky Splinter was like the classic thing. Exhibition is now Recon. Was it Purge before?
Exposition was Disruption.
Huh.
Coterie was Purge, and Coterie turned to Take and Hold. And Cabalite was also Purge, but it went to Disruption.
Damn. So Purge is only Spectacle of Spite and Reaper's Wager.
Yes, I believe you are correct.
Damn. Exhibition being Recon. It's weird, but like, I guess Witch Cult go fast, maybe?
Yeah, I don't know. I just want a redo of the Codex. Do over, please.
They gave the Coven ones Take and Hold because it's like, fuck, this is the closest thing you have to tankiness. I guess this is your defensive stuff now.
I'll put all my grotesques in there.
Rip.
Necrons.
So I have a buddy who really, really likes Curse Lead.
I do too. Am I your buddy?
Maybe someday.
Pay me.
Damn.
You can support the show.
At patreon.com/solely singleton.
All right. Curse Legion, though.
Yeah, Curse Legion Sky Shroud was awesome because your locusts would go up in strength and also have assault. Like, dude, you could give the Destroyer Ankh to an Overlord with a scythe and he'd go up to like strength 12 or 14 or whatever. It was nuts. Like, I love Curse Legion's playstyle, but they also got slapped.
How did they get slapped?
Just a bunch of the points went up. So Locusts all went up, Destroyers went up, Necrosaur Mentor went up. You're gonna take one less like Ophidian thing. It's still Purge, but it doesn't matter. You're still playing it the same way.
No, it still plays exactly correctly. That's all fine. I don't care about point changes. You told me it got ruined, and I'm like, oh, fuck. Did they destroy it? No, they just did some point updates. In general, you've lost a whopping 60 points. Play 3 less Ophidian Destroyers. We're done. That's fine. That's my point when I'm like, don't overly panic if you're a casual and playing a list like this, because it's not good anyway. So, like, that doesn't matter too much.
The weird thing is that I've seen Sky Shroud and Curse Legion in comp a lot. So that's why I'm like, oh shit, they're probably losing like a unit. Hooray.
Yeah, I mean, if it's actually being affected in comp play, I can't say I've been paying attention to 11th Necrons. Then that's fine. That's the real reason they did it then. There is a cool buff for Curse Legion. Cryptex, since they're supports, you can play them with Scorpec Lords and stuff. That's one of the things I think is cooler about Curse Legion in 11th.
I mean, yeah, but you're probably gonna bring them with Wraiths to give the Wraiths Destroyer. Well, at least the Technomancer would. So Technomancer, in the detachment thing, the enhancement you can give to the Technomancer gives it Destroyer Cult. So the classic thing you would do.
Oh, because yeah, then you give the keyword via
the various things. So I do agree that Cryptex having support is overall great. It makes it so that they do the thing you expect them to do, which is to be the Court Wizard Vizier being next to your actual leader. That's awesome. +2.
I don't know. For the rest of Necrons, though, there's a whole bunch of red text because they updated a lot of stuff. Basically, reanimation protocols, heals, meaning you can't do the shenanigans because of the core rule update with heals. So you can no longer just like respawn a whole fucking unit out of nowhere. It is no longer that obnoxious. That is totally fine as a nerf. It needed to happen.
The Chronomancer has the thing where like it has stealth and -1 to hit in melee. Vocab stuff.
Yeah. Oh, here's a fun one. Catacomb Command Barge has Noble, which I thought they fixed at one point in 10th in the data slate, and then we must have forgot it.
Yeah, no, it now can take obeisance phalanx. So it like interacts with its rule. I don't think it matters anywhere else.
Yeah, I remember at one point it was hilarious because they launched the 10th Codex and they forgot to give Noble to fucking Silent King. That was the greatest, the funniest thing.
The noblest of nobles.
Leagues of Votann. Yup. Who here knows Short Kings? I don't.
I barely know a little. They didn't have any fucking detachment changes. It was all just points.
They were either completely ruined or completely saved. We'll find out next time when someone cares about leagues. Bricky might come back next time and then we'll be fine because he can pretend he cares about Votann for us.
Just keep playing Hearthguard. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
Hey, do you want to be angry again? Let's do Tau.
Fuck!
I'm already mad.
So Tau, you were not done getting shit on.
Yeah, they weren't as bad as like... So do you remember like March, April when we were getting all the 11th edition articles?
Yes, there were a bunch of leaks from playtest groups that were saying like Tau and Necrons were going to be like 90% win rate armies.
Yeah.
And then they came out and they're good, but they're not like oppressively good. They're just good. And they're like super fucking boring to play against.
Yep. I mean, everyone just brings Monka. Does anyone bring anything that's not Monka?
Yeah, Retaliation Cadre. That was getting played a lot.
That's why it's up to 3DP.
Yeah, it became 3, so it's dead now, so you'll be playing Monka now.
Fuck.
And the hilarious part is punishing it by that ruined more, so there is only 8 valid detachments total now again. The entire combination of detachments that you have access to. Welcome to 11th edition, where everyone else gets to play with all these cool interactions. You have an 8 that you can play with now because of this nerf.
So not only is Retaliation Cadre up to 3DP, that is the only way you play Purge is with Retaliation and nothing else.
Yeah, so now it's still between Monka and Retaliation because it'll be the better disposition versus the better detachment. So you really have 2, but you have a total of 8 possible in a casual game. Real cool. You nailed Tau. No notes. Commander Farsight, one of your supreme commanders of the entire faction, is 70 goddamn points.
Yeesh.
Just bring him alone at that point. Just bring him by himself and just zoom around the map.
He's just gonna die. He's slow as shit. We were having this discussion of like Farsight is not good.
No, he's an action monkey now because you're playing Monka, which is priority assets.
That's horrible.
He's 70 points. I think he's cheaper. I think he's cheaper than the lieutenant with combi weapon.
I mean, he's cheaper than taking 10 guardsmen, and it's debatable
Fuck.
which one does more now.
Oh no.
I'm just saying, with the new fly rule from 11th, like, yeah, he's an action monkey now, and he has a sword to hit people.
The Storm Surge going up is hilarious.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know, is it technically Titanic? So, but like, you're not shooting anything within 12. I mean, you better not be.
Your opponent walked next to the Storm Surge, and you're like, yes, I'm happy about this scenario. This will go well for my Storm Surge with no arms. Twin Lance going up makes sense. Kayun is actually an interesting one, by the way. So Kayun went from priority assets to reconnaissance, and reconnaissance with how Kayun plays could be good.
I am super into it. I think it's really great because the whole thing is to play keep away.
That one I like in the way that I hate that Monka is no longer Purge the Foe when it's literally the killing blow is what Monka means. All right, I think we've made fun of the poor situation with Tau enough again. Please do something for Tau. Genestealer Cults. They previously fixed Cult Ambush. We're good.
Well, kind of.
What do you mean kind of?
It's not fully fixed. So they fixed the part where it doesn't matter if your character has the ability or not for like the unit to have the ability, but you still have to wait for the character to die before you can res the squad.
I mean, that's fair. It's a fucking Genestealer Cults character. They're not staying alive.
You mean the 3 wound T3 guy?
Correct. Well, hold on. Abominant exists. But honestly, like if you're playing GSE correctly, you're not doing that anyway. Like you're not resurrecting squads that have characters in them anyway. So it's not like the biggest deal, but it's still like they still haven't fully reverted it back to how it was.
Okay, but like it's mostly working again.
Mostly functional.
Other than that, I don't think anything changed on the main part. The big thing is the disposition changes, which are actually kind of nice.
So I think Xenocult becoming recon instead of disruption is actually really good for the faction.
Yes, I would go as far as to say Heroes of the Uprising going from Purge to Disruption is almost better than being Purge because you're not playing Purge as Genestealers.
No, GSC is very bad at Purge.
The only time you play Purge is if you have fucking Tyranids.
I think the less Purge you have in Genestealers, the happier you are. So like, it's weird that like a Purge to Disruption is bad everywhere else, and here you're like, woo! I also think it's still thematic too.
Yeah, I do too.
Heroes of the Uprising, for the record, is like all the assassin guys, right? And you could say it's Purge because they're killing stuff, but like they're Disruption. It's all of the guys who are like the guerrilla fighters.
I could see Purge for like Final Day, but for basically any of the other ones, I would rather not have Purge.
And Final Day is the final Purge purge one they've got.
GSC is honestly, especially as far as detachments goes, like in a very good spot right now.
I'm pretty happy with Genestealers right now, like looking at it. Again, I am not like the number one Genestealers player. I just think this looks to be a much better spot than most of their existence in 10th, ignoring the like 20 minutes they were broken that one time and that one other time.
One day we'll go through a balance pass without them having to touch the army rule, but today is not that day.
I kind of become attached to it.
It's almost disappointing when they don't.
Yeah, where it's like, come on, do it again. It's fun. One more time. We'll get it next time, guys.
Importantly, the Abominant didn't catch the character's res as a unit of 1 nerf, so that's good.
Maybe the next data pass, they will take away that unique tag from a 3DP detachment. Oh, yes, my Onslaught games. I need to make sure I'm not bringing Xenocult with host. Last but not least, it's time.
Tyranids.
Melee Warriors. Woo! Yay! You know what the Melee Warriors do now?
This is weird. Okay, I looked this up because I was like, how do Tyranid players feel about this? And I understand why it does what it does now. So this is Tyranid Warriors with bioweapons. They used to have the rerolls, right?
Yes, reroll hit rolls or save rolls of 1 for the Melee Warrior. Now it's +1 strength, +1 toughness, but depending on
But
which
it's
one
you choose.
Yeah.
Yes. This one I get because people were saying the only place you ran them already gives you rerolls. So you just use this as a way to actually buff them. And again, it's still hilarious because it's like they are slow as dirt. They're essentially bad save terminators.
But if you're in Synapse, now you're strength 7 with Twin Linked. Like, it's something.
Yeah, you can actually punch tanks now with them, which is cute.
And they can go up to toughness 6 if you choose that one, I think, because they're normally toughness 5.
Yeah, their save still sucks ass.
Yeah.
What if Terminators weren't tanky as warriors? It's real weird. Especially because like people will point out like warriors used to be 3 wounds when Space Marines were 1 wound. Like they're supposed to be better than Terminators and stuff, but then like they just kind of forgot that over time. And now Titus kills them by the handful every time he sneezes.
Brad, were you there for 9th edition when Space Marines got their codex and all the Chaos Space Marine players were just praying for their 2nd wound on their Space Marine?
Oh, I remember it being year 2 and them still not having it. I remember the entire time when they're like, surely next data slate, they will just data slate the single line saying Chaos Space Marines get 2 wounds. It would be so easy. And they will surely do this rather than make us wait another year. And it just kept not getting written.
It was like 2022. The Chaos Space Marine codex in 9th was so cool, but like, oh my god.
It was a great codex. It's unfortunate that it was the entire fucking edition to wait for it, while looking at your non-spiky cousins getting it right away. But anyway, back to the important stuff. Venomthropes have a 6-foot aura. You should definitely play it that way and not the 6 inches it was meant to be. You can affect other tables at a tournament. This is also a real rule. So you just play teams tournaments where one guy brings the Venomthrope and everyone at the tables next to him gets stealth.
Just make sure that your teammates are also playing Tyranids so you get the keyword.
Yeah.
Trust me.
Yeah, triple up Tyranids teams.
Hey, how do we feel about Zoanthropes having a psychic gun that therefore ignores cover, and now they're 30 points each? Any particular thoughts on that?
It's not like Zoanthropes are good, right? They haven't been taken in a while, unless I'm mistaken.
No, they're not at all. But now it's 30 points for a gun that ignores cover, so it's like, it's neat. They're usable, maybe. They're not going to be a comp. I just like the logic of like, oh shit, you have a railgun that ignores things. Hooray.
Yeah.
Maliceptor Neurotyrant went up, I assume because of Battleshock shit, but I got no idea.
I will say they're like the one place I don't think they had any detachment change in my list, or I just forgot them. Wow.
Yeah, why is Warrior Bioform still taking hold? And also, Crusher Stampede is the only purge, and wait, hold on. We are playing 11th edition. Crushing Impact is an activation piece for your detachment rule with Crusher Stampede now, because you could give yourself mortals by using the stratagem.
One place where being terrible is better.
Hey!
Huge.
Let's go. Your single purge the foe thing. Just keep spamming Crushing Impact. Not crushing Impact, crushing.
The other one.
The other one.
All right, we made it through everything, I think. I am going to send these 2 off, cast them into oblivion, and bring Eric back for an outro bit. For now, please do the YouTube pleasantries and all that. And while you're doing those, there should be links down below to go see Slam Sector for more Jordan, to go see more Bolters and Banter for more of Nick. They have wonderful co-hosts and just wonderful channels. I love both of them. I'm happy they could come on for this one. I'm really happy Bricky wasn't here to make this last 2 more hours while he argues bad takes against me where I'm always right and he's always wrong. Fantastic. Bricky, come back. I miss you. Yeah. So where can everybody find you guys? Nick?
You can find me at Bolters and Banter, where Tyler and I post our weekly videos every month and talk about new player stuff, journeys through the hobby, all the stuff that you need to get kind of a nice slide into the Warhammer scene if you're new to this kind of thing.
All right. And for you, Mr. Jordan?
You can find me over at Slam Sector on YouTube. We do live streamed, very casual, I'll say, battle reports for mostly 40k, but we dabble in some other war games and stuff. So if you want to come hang out with us for 4 hours, make sure you catch us on Mondays.
They also already played Horde mode. It was awesome. Orks are the best.
Brought my Stompa.
I did make a whole post about it when you posted the Stompa thing.
Hell yeah.
So please go check them out. They're fantastic. I hope you've noticed that over the course of this. Hey, while you're doing all the stuff down there, we have a Twitch. This is hopefully going out on Friday. God, I hope so. We are currently planning to stream PoE League Launch if you want to hang out with Eric and I. At least me. Eric is going to depend a lot on schedule stuff, but hang out with us over on Twitch. We should be streaming Friday and Saturday over there. We're going to play Path of Exile, talk nerd stuff, you know, come hang out.
No other links, no OnlyFans, nothing.
No, the usual, again, just as a reminder, if you don't want to have to think about when to apply for the secret password stuff or what the secret password was, none of that jives with you. You could always support us over on Patreon. Patrons are automatically entered.
Yeah, you can be one of the 18 people who asks, where the fuck is the Munitorum field manual?
I don't blame any of them. It's extremely stupid. I was with them the first time. Anyway, so overall thoughts on the data slate, everybody, before you all get exiled to the void.
Points changes goods, rules changes mid. Honestly, please fix the format. I want to be able to look at a document, not 30.
Please, please.
Yeah, pretty much the same. I thought pretty much all of the rules changes made sense, at least. There were a couple of outliers that were a little strange, but most of those changes were fine. But yeah, the formatting is absolutely atrocious. One day they'll get it right, I hope.
Same thoughts. Again, I'm very iffy on the way we're dealing with the detachments and dispositions right now. I'm really hoping that we get them properly fixed and undo some of the weird way we handled this. But overall, not a bad first data slate. Again, props to GW. Great launch to the edition. Honestly, did not expect it to go that well.
I mean, compared to every other edition launch I've seen, this has been handled really well. And considering the track record with like 10th balancing, I think people give me a little bit of shit when I say that mid 10th edition was some of the most balanced I've ever seen Warhammer 40,000 be.
I mean, all of 10th edition, the worst cases in 10th that everyone bitches about were like 60% win rates outside of indexes. Indexes was weird.
It was not 9th edition Harlequins, let me tell you that.
Bro, could we bring them back though? I missed that. 8th edition, 9th edition Harlequins, that was fun shit.
Yeah.
I'm not even the Harlequins player. I just love watching people cheat all day.
I'm looking forward to 11th. I'm super stoked. And dude, I love the missions. I don't think we touched on that much, but ooh, I love the new mission style. Big fan.
Yeah, all right. But I have loved having you both. Now, be exiled to the void. I need my boy back. All right, Eric, welcome back from the void. How's it going?
Well, it's not too bad.
All right. So if you want to support this show, go over to patreon.com/SollySingleton right now to join great patrons like Tan and Seifert.
We also have great patrons that we have to shout out every month. They are Remora,
Rogrog Medflog,
Sriracha Sauce,
Scott Gallmeyer,
Scott the Irish,
Shax's Pet Otter,
She Stormed My Surge,
Smart Boy,
Smug Astolfo emoji,
Stev,
That Femboy Word Bearer,
the Bodybuilder 40k player,
The Great Listener, TM,
the Lictor standing right behind you,
of the real actual Babadook,
the sister player who plays Exodites. Let's fucking go, Exodites, baby.
the Solar Sect of Mystic Wisdom,
The Tired EMR,
the Crusader 13,
the Fish Guy,
the Lonely Liar,
They Took My Agent's Rules Away, Can't Have Shit in 40k,
Thrango,
Thumper Smith 2,
Tom McGrath,
Zinch Loves Ranch. Zinch Loves Ranch with their pizza. I'm like losing the ability to read, and then that having the typo on it killed me.
It's such a brilliant typo. And I don't think it's on purpose, but it's also like massive brain because it's clearly going to fuck with us. Ulis,
Untitled Wizard,
Uuluna,
Vati the Picori,
Vadim Kowalski,
Vangriff.
Vulcan Lives,
We have merch. Buy the Poor Hammer beanie. Hey, guess what, guys? It might not be up yet, but this joke isn't a joke this time. Soon, TM. Very, very, very soon. See you next week.
Woodstock,
Why So Mad 2?
Zequispy Nekwan,
Zebru.
and Zimbabwe. way.
We also have producers we thank every week because they're so damn awesome. They are Aetherian but on deployment,
Billy the Git,
Breaking News 480 Custodian Guard,
C5 Dynamite,
Certified Pegstar,
Charles Lang,
Demolition Man,
Dolphin Caviar.
Gilgamesh Versus,
Is it me or do the 1-point detachments feel too safe?
Kiwi Fruit Bird,
La bloop bloop.
Loaf of Disappointment,
My deck's enormous.
NJ Highland. God damn it, Dexy.
Pizza 00100.
Robohap,
Sam Brown.
Scott the Gym Crab, Mr. Festastic,
Skjolder Odinson.
_ owl player who lost the rights to guttural stop. Shout out to our bonus content, by the way.
The fucking God Emperor of mankind.
The guard will be fine this edition, right?
Okay. The _owl fire warrior who's _ learning to shoot.
I love that both of you updated. The unforeseen legal troubles of Brazilian tax law.
Team merch we didn't mention, and on that note,
Victorian Batman.
War Game Simulator.
We're all dogs in God's hot car.
Yoo-hoo Fanatic.
And Zachary J. Yates. Thank you all so much for supporting the show. All right, Eric, I guess take us out of here before you return to the void.
The void's quite nice. It embraces me well.
Cast yourself into oblivion. We'll be streaming over on Twitch this coming Friday, like literally, hopefully the day you're listening to this or the day before you're listening to this. Oops.
Or sometime relatively soon, or in the past. Twitch.tv/Poorhammer.
Go over there, hang out. It'd be nice. Talk about how much you hated this data slate or loved it. I don't know. It hasn't come out yet. We're recording this beforehand. It's very confusing.
I mean, we generally record things like before.
We don't normally record the end of the data slate episode before the data slate.
It's true.
Cue the music. Get us out of here.
Sounds good.